All right, everyone. Good evening and welcome to day three. Day three of my ongoing, ridiculously long nightly reaction to the June the King documentary about me called The Eternal Downfall of Darkside Phil. And, man, it's going to be a doozy tonight, folks. It's going to be a doozy no matter what way you look at it. I don't know how you can avoid, this being probably so far the heaviest night of me doing this. Reason being, we're getting into more recent things. The last two nights that I've done this, it was covering quite a lot of old stuff. My Street Fighter days, my old school days in, as an original YouTuber back in the day. Issues with Project 7 and my friends and falling out and my original engagement with trolls and kind of getting screwed up there, the way that I handled stuff, and just being a salty old asshole, really just being a grumpy person, a jealous person, as I got further into the whole YouTube thing and seeing everyone around me getting prosperous and growing and me refusing to grow or change for the better, right? And so, really, it's been all old stuff up to now. Tonight, as we get into the second half of this documentary, we're going to be tackling the more recent stuff. All right? Including breakup with my ex, leading into me changing as a content creator, becoming a live streamer instead of a on-demand video creator. Further mass engagement with my trolls, leading to them basically stalking every aspect of my life. Financial ruin, which is really the best way to describe it. It really was financial ruin. Bankruptcy. And the three-ring circus around said bankruptcy, of which I'm going to tell you some stories tonight you probably did not know because you probably didn't attend the one-off stream where I talked about it. And then the whole WWE Champions thing. And that's hopefully what we'll get through tonight. All right? The final stream, we've got even more to talk about, including the reinvigoration of my stuff with the vest streak and financial tracking and bank leaks and all kinds of stuff, okay? But I think tonight, honestly, if you want me to talk about, like, what would the biggest section of everything be of all of this stuff, it's probably going to be tonight. I would think tomorrow is kind of like the home stretch. I really feel like tonight is going to be the big night. So spread the word that tonight shit's going to go down, because tonight, if we get to it, I'm going to tell the full story about WWE Champions, 100% truthful from my perspective, and I've never told the real story before. And I'm going to do it tonight if we get to it, all right? I think we will get to it. So, everyone, get ready. I recommend you use the bathroom right now. Grab a drink, grab a snack, get ready, because once we get started, we ain't stopping. It's going to be 2.5 hours of me going through this stuff and basically, telling you the truth about all of it, all right? And it's not going to be easy at all by any means, you know what I mean? This is going to be a rough night, I feel. But it is what it is. I told you guys I would do it. I told you guys I'm going to put this behind me, and we're going to do it, all right? Okay, fair enough. So, well, I guess I should get on camera. Hold on. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of this very lengthy full react to my documentary by June the King. Tonight's the serious night for sure. Like I said, everything was build up. Now is serious business beginning tonight. I want to get started relatively quickly, but FYI, I just want to, call out, it is a work night for me, even though we're doing drama content, which is what everyone wants. It's a work night. So if you could support the stream tonight in any way, that would be greatly appreciated. Notably, the King streak is continuing at 34. If we hit 35 tonight, I mean, the momentum going through, especially tonight. Tonight is going to be a very serious, heavy, negative night for me, okay? And I definitely feel like tonight is going to be like time to answer up for a lot of stuff, okay? And so, obviously, I want to be focusing on that. I don't want to have to interrupt the middle of the night and be like, oh, by the way, let's hit that tip skull. it's not really going to be very pertinent, all right? So if we can hit that sooner rather than later, that would definitely be better so it doesn't interrupt what we're doing. But I will be interrupting for shout outs if people contribute. I will stop and shout out contributions tonight. In fact, let's just start with that right now. Okay. Let's see here. I received a super chat from Tweeter Trash who says, imagine recording this $5 super chat into a spreadsheet or commentating on my video about me tipping to the king. Build arrangement syndrome is real. Well, thank you very much, Tweeter Trash. However, FYI, that is going to be tonight, actually, when we're going to talk about that. We haven't gotten to that part of the documentary yet. That's kind of a spoiler. That's what my trolls currently do right now. They literally track every single contribution that comes in, if you can believe it. So thank you for that. Daniel United 115 with a €10 super chat. Thank you to Daniel United. Nathan Smith with a gifted membership to Han Solo. Congrats, Han Solo. Thank you, Nathan, for that. Dead Sea with a €5 super chat, or excuse me, a £5 super chat. Big balls move to react to this. Thanks. As the Dead Sea Scrolls foretold us, that's fucking dope. The past is the past. All the best. So thank you very much to Dead Sea. You are actually the latest super chatter. Let's get you on the leaderboard. And Nathan gifted another membership, so 2 memberships tonight so far. Thank you, Nathan. And Nev just became a member of the channel tonight. So thank you. And by the way, guys, if you do tip and I don't shout it out, let me know, because earlier today I had an issue with my email where I accidentally flagged certain emails as spam because it was like delayed. My stupid touchpad had an issue. And then I found out I had like 7 tips that I didn't call out. And then I had to call them all out at once. It was really a mess. Obviously, I don't want to be missing contributions tonight. So if you're having an issue with that, please let me know and I'll take a look at it. But right now, it looks like nothing has come in that regard of tips. If you're interested, tipping, link in the description of this stream. Or you can type !tip into the chat. And if you want me to call out your name in a tip, you must put your name in the body of the tip. I don't see your name when you sent me a tip. I need you to put it into the body of the tip. Okay? All right. I think we're going to get started. I just shouted out. I literally just shouted out everything we had. So thank you all for your early support. Right now, we already got 600 viewers and climbing, 90 likes. Please like the stream if you've enjoyed this week-long stressful react. I mean, I'm not even kidding you guys. Not even joking. Tonight, I brought tissues. Not to cry, but for my sweat. Because I think tonight, I'm going to be sweating it out with everything going on here. I'm going to need these. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck. Well, here we go. Here it comes. So I have them here, ready to go. There's no crying and reacting, but there is sweating. I'm going to be sweating it out, man. All right, so... so this is going to be something else tonight as we begin, okay? Fair enough? You ready? I think we should just get started rather than dilly-dallying. We got a lot of ground to cover here. All right, so by the way, FYI, the documentary has hit over 500,000 views right now. Came out of nowhere, and 530,000 views, and still climbing. So 2 days it's been live, a little over 2 days now, right? And it's 530,000 and climbing. Can it make 1 million views by the end of the week? Because I told June, I said, if you really put the amount of effort and stuff into this like you said you're going to, I think the documentary will hit 1 million views in 1 week, and it will be his best performing documentary of all time. But I don't know. I guess we're going to see. Okay, we're going to see how it goes. Right now, it's a little bit plateauing, but it's still increasing. So I don't know. So anyway. Oh, by the way, okay, the first tip of the night did come in. It was $2.25 from Walrus Nipples. Hulk Hogan has lost his mind. He said WWE fans forgave Chris Benoit for what he did. I don't know anything about senile Hulk Hogan saying stuff. This is not about Hulk Hogan tonight. It's about pulling Hogans, correct? I mean, that's what we're talking about tonight in this segment. We're getting to it, the pulling of Hogans, not joking about the real Hogan. So anyway, I'm not putting whatever your name was on the leaderboard. I'm just going to say Anon. It was disturbing. But thank you. That's the first tip of the night. I appreciate that. I'm actually going to turn down my AC. Put it on medium rather than high. And I'm going to turn down my fan level. Oh. Are you guys saying Nightbot is banning WWE champions? Let me check. Let me look real quick if Nightbot is doing that or not. Let's see. Spam protection. Blocked words and phrases. You're right. Okay, let me get rid of it right now. We already did this on the other channel. We'll do it on this channel too. Okay. Delete here. Submit. Okay. As of now, you should be able to say WWE Champions in chat. I mean, we're going to be talking about it a lot tonight, so you should be able to talk about it in chat. Okay? All right. And as always, guys, I have demonetized this stream. There will be no commercial break advertisements whatsoever. That way the live audience is not interrupted while they're here live. I don't want them to miss anything because an ad pops up. But I would ask, if you are here and you are enjoying the live react, then please support the stream in some way, because that's how I'm going to make any kind of income on tonight's stream. Okay? All right, ready? Without further ado, here we go. I have to deal with it now. So guess what? Sadly, the podcast has to end. I can't finish my story right now.
Fallon had received a call from Pandalee's job. She had experienced an anxiety attack and was being driven to the hospital by paramedics.
That is... Yes, that's correct. This is hard to remember. It's hard to remember exactly the sequence of events of this, and I'll tell you why. So, I don't know if June will say this or not. We had already broken up, okay? So, my ex and I were living together for about a year to a year and a half, and we weren't really romantic at all. We had grown apart, but we didn't want to have internet drama or anything about it. So, we basically didn't really reveal any of this to the public. Now, only like 2 months prior, or maybe even a few weeks prior to this occurrence right here, okay, we had got engaged. All that means is we had already had this ring, which we talked about last night. It was in the documentary. That was a ring that she had wanted me to get her for an engagement, and I had gotten it for her ages ago. But we finally decided, well, let's just do it. The thing is, we weren't really being romantic at all, and we were really trying hard to maybe make it work again. So we started spending more time together again. I gave her the ring, you know, the proposal and all of that. And it didn't work. It just didn't work. We kind of knew it wasn't going to work, but we wanted to give it one last shot, and it definitely didn't work. And basically at this point, so whatever date this happened, because I think it was like April of 2017 or something like that, we had already broken up. We had already had the big fight, and this isn't working, and yada, yada, yada. And basically we were already in the process where Leanna was getting ready to move out. She had already had friends who she was going to move in with. It was just a matter of finding like a way to get the stuff out of the house that she was taking with her. It was already in process. In fact, we already talked. It was going to be about a week process that this was going to happen. So we had just had this big, you know, argument, stressful thing going on like a day or two before this happened. And to be quite frank with you, I was worried something like this would happen, because I figured she was probably incredibly stressed out, at wit's end, and now she's going to a stressful retail job. What's going to happen, right? So I was like really afraid something like this would happen, and then it did. So it was like I kind of knew it, and then it fucking happened. I'm like, oh God, all right? So now we're going to get into the real story, but the truth is we were not together anymore. We had already broken up, and then this happens on top of all of that extra stress. It's like, oh, come on. Okay, so let's continue. I have a $20 tip from the Greedy Squeegee. Happy to hear your opening up about whatever controversy you may have. It makes you feel all right. If you need to wipe sweat off, I am a squeegee. And not only do your fans forgive you, but we also love you. Okay, I don't know if I want to hear about a squeegee being in love with me. It's a little disturbing. But I do appreciate the sentiment, and I do appreciate the support here tonight. As we get into the tougher... This is going to be... I'm telling you, this is the toughest night. I think what we're going to do tomorrow won't even compare to what we're going to be doing tonight, to be honest. I think tonight is the big night for drama and fessing up and stuff like that. So it was like Le Big Ouija or something like that. A $20 tip. Thank you for that. And a $5 tip. It's tough. Get through this stuff and put it behind you. Be honest. Your fans won't abandon you. You'll gain more respect. Yes, listen, I told you. I just said this. Tonight, when we get to this segment, it will be the first time I am ever honest with you guys about this stuff. Because I haven't been. I openly will tell you right now, I've been lying over and over and over endlessly, years and years and years and years and years about this shit. Okay? And now it's time for me to fess up. Le Greedy Squeegee was your name? Well, now you're Le Big Squeegee. Sorry about that. All right, let's keep going.
Phil then met her at the hospital after picking up her car. He found her in a sedated state, and after a 3-hour-long wait, they released her with no additional treatment. Frustrated at the lack of attentiveness, Phil said,
So now she's zonked out. She's sleeping, in the room because of, everything. She's still on the pills made her all loopy or whatever. So, we did on the way home. I stopped and we got food. We grabbed like chicken sandwiches and we just ate them and now she's sleeping. So that's what happened. Unbelievable. Like, just look at me. Dude, look at me. Look at my face. You can tell this is it. Like, I'm crushed. Like, not only is my life falling apart all around me, my business is falling apart. My personal life has now fallen apart. And now this happens on top of all of that. It's just insane. The thing that really got me too was, here's the truth, because I don't know if June will say this. I don't know if I revealed this. So when I got the call during this podcast, okay, this emergency call from my ex's job, the manager of the store says, your ex, well, she's your ex is Leanna. Leanna's calling for you. She's saying, where is Phil? I need Phil. Where is Phil? Now, I want you to think about this. I'm going through already this breakup. It already have happened. And now, just a couple days later, supposedly, she's saying that she needs me. So my fucking emotions are being torn in every fucking direction. I'm so fucking confused about what the fuck is going on and everything. All right? And then, basically, to conclude the story, because, again, I don't know if I've ever told you guys the full story. When we were in the hospital together, and she's there zonked out and everything, right? And I said to her, your manager called me frantically saying that you needed me. And I want to know, like, was that real? Did she make that up? And she goes like this. She goes, and she hands me the engagement ring right there in the hospital. And I'm like, wow. Well, I guess I got my answer, right? So then I come home and she's fucking, we get food. She's zonked out. She passes out. She's on these not painkillers, whatever they were. I don't even know what they gave her. The drugs or whatever. And then I go on stream to tell everyone what just happened because the stream was, suspended. Everyone's wondering what the fuck just happened. Is everything okay? No one knows that we're broken up. So I didn't even say that. So I jumped on stream. Now, admittedly, should I have said anything about it at all? I mean, what could I have done? I mean, always in retro 50, you look, hindsight is 2020. That's what they say, right? So looking back at it now, I'm like, I could have easily just told everyone something very personal just happened and it doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's not your business, right? But instead, I basically laid it all out for the audience, exactly what had happened. Now, I didn't tell everyone that we were broken up, but I had told them the entire medical emergency with the panic attack and all that, and I ranted and raged about how messed up the American medical system is and shit, because it was really fucked up, the way that they handled the situation. You can watch it if you want. I'm not going to get into that tonight. That's not the purpose of the documentary. But basically, people saying, you shouldn't have said anything, right? I shouldn't have said anything at all because it's her personal medical history. And in retrospect, I look back, I'm like, you're right. I basically should have just come and said, you know what? It's none of anyone's business what just happened. If ever we decide to talk about it publicly, we will. But I can't tell you what just happened. I'm sorry. But instead, I told the whole story. And I shouldn't have done that at all. And that's on me. 1,000,000%. It's my fault. All right? Okay. Oh, my God. The thing is, I know if this ever happens again, I'm going to tell them, you are not allowed to bring her to the hospital. No, you get no permission to fucking do it. You can't give her a pill. You want to give her a pill, and that's it, because you're just going to waste our time again. Yeah, because we were both upset, for the record. We were both incredibly upset with the way they handled it. They basically went there, and she was having a panic attack, right? So they did something to sedate her. I don't know if it was a pill or whatever. They took her to the hospital. They left her in a fucking hospital room for over 3 hours. No one came to talk to her. Not even a doctor. They just left her in a room by herself for 3 hours and told her nothing. She didn't know what was going on. She was completely confused. And then after me showing up and spending time with her for like 2 hours, someone comes in after, oh, are you okay? You ready to go? What are you talking about? What do you mean we're ready to go? Yeah, you ready to go? Here's some papers on counseling if you need it. So now what, you're going to charge us thousands of dollars for this fucking stay because you decided to haul her here to the hospital and now you did literally nothing? Do you really think she would have said, take me to the hospital, if you knew she was just going to sit in a room for 3 hours and no one was going to help her at all? It was incredibly fucked up what they did to her. That's what I was upset about, and that's what I'm saying here. I'm not saying if she willingly wants to get medical treatment, she shouldn't get it. I'm saying, dude, the American health system's fucked, because now she's going to get a bill for thousands of dollars for being in the emergency room, and now she has to pay it, and they didn't even do anything. That's fucked up. That's how our medical system works here. It didn't help us at all.
To some, this looked like Phil was dismissing Pandalee's issues or minimizing them, which is what he was now getting backlash for. What they didn't know is that Phil and Pandalee had broken up some time before the anxiety attack, which is also a possible factor that may have induced it. Yep. He announced this at the end of May. Now, for the first time ever, Phil was in Washington in complete isolation. Mockingly, a few dating adverts were made to remedy his newfound loneliness. Then there was a song request.
89.7 KACC, we got a dedication in. These kids and their names, I swear. So, Darkside Phil wants to dedicate a song to Pandalee. He wants to dedicate Baby Come Back by...
Who would have even known this? Unless some loser does it, records it, and posts it on, like, Kiwi Farms, right? And this is like, this is such dumb, immature shit. Obviously, I didn't know anything about it. This is the first time I'm ever hearing it. Like, how is this even, like, pertinent or funny? It's just so stupid. It shows what a loser they are. No one would know about this unless they put it in, like, a troll sector, correct?
Player? I don't know what to say, guys. Okay, so, anyway, here's Baby Come Back by Player, and they actually wanted me to say Baby Come Back, ack. I don't get it. I really don't get it with these kids. But yes, Darkside Phil.
No one gets it. No one gets these kids because they're all mentally fucking ill. They're asking you to do dumb shit, and they're cracked in their heads. They have no fucking intelligence.
Here's your dedication to Pandalee.
In many ways, Phil was defeated, but he would not be Phil if he wasn't persistent in getting others to dislike him. On his Twitch chat, a place only the current viewers are meant to see, Phil, in jealousy of popular creator iJustine, typed, quote, iJustine is busy getting gangbanged by EA executive staff all weekend. The only fucking reason she was actually hired in the first place, lol.
So, yeah, this is basically around the same time. I would say it was right around E3 time, because I think this was in reference to an E3 that year. This is just in my chat, in my fucking stream chat, and obviously, you know, my head is not screwed on right at all. I'm messed up in the head because everything's falling apart in my life, and I made that comment in my stream chat. Now, the stream's not on. This is just me, like, talking with someone in stream chat before my stream is even turned on. But you got to understand, my detractors literally stalk my every move. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I said that down the hallway right now, that somehow someone would hear it and post it on the internet. You see, that's how fucking weird it is. So, they screen capped it. They sent it to iJustine. Now, let's see if he says that.
Prominent detractor accounts took this screenshot and were quick to not only spread it on Twitter, but also tag iJustine in it. To much surprise, iJustine responded, quote, why don't you stop spamming everyone? He clearly has issues, unquote. And Phil did have issues.
That's completely true. That she actually said the most pertinent thing possible. Yes, that's completely right. I was having some pretty bad fucking issues at the time. That's correct.
For 10 years, Phil has had a dream job meant to provide a steady, easy income, while allowing one to work within their own set hours. Phil, on the other hand, had nothing to show for his near decade-long residence. The stinging fact was he lost far more than he gained, and for a period he seemed starkly aware. Quote, I haven't had real in-person social interaction on a regular basis since like 2007, before YouTube started. Once I started YouTube, that all went away. That's part of the sacrifices I keep bringing up to make this work. I can't have regular friends with the amount of time I put into this job. When I lived in CT, I had tons of money. As soon as I moved out here, poof, gone, unquote. It is clear that he regrets his move, but he cannot accept it is his fault.
Wrong. I don't regret my move. I do accept it's my fault. I don't regret my move because if I didn't move when I did, I never would have left Connecticut. And I might have been there in Connecticut with money, but I would have been fucking miserable because I hated my life there. It wasn't going anywhere. Since I moved, my life has become way better. One thing that he has not mentioned at all in this documentary is my back injury, which many of you probably don't even know I had. But I had a severe back injury, a severely herniated disc between my L4, L5 vertebrae that I was suffering from in like around 2006, 2007 time. It got really bad. That's actually one of the reasons why I actually retired from competitive Street Fighter, because I couldn't travel anymore because my back hurt too much. And it was really, really bad all the way through like 2013. When I moved to Washington, I changed my lifestyle. Now there's no ice and snow. I have a garage, so I don't have to walk long distances with grocery bags and shit like that. I don't have to clean snow or worry about that shit. I don't have to drive long distances to do anything. So basically, I changed my whole lifestyle, and now my back has healed itself. I usually never have problems with my back. Every once in a while, if I overdo it, I'll feel it, but almost never have I had an issue with my back since I moved out here. It took like 2 years, and then boom, fixed. And let's be honest, if I didn't move out here, and the whole thing happened with the breakup with my ex and all of that, my life might have been very different, and I wouldn't be happy. And right now I am very happy. I'm happily married. I have a great personal life behind the scenes. My streams and work has gotten tons and tons better. Right now I'm in a resurgence the last month, which of course he won't have in this documentary. My life is getting better as a direct result of the fact that I moved. Now, the problem was when I moved, I made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision when it came to how to finance the move. It should have been done very differently. But that I own. I spent too much on credit cards. I spent too much on all this shit. That's my fault. And, that was a really bad planning. I literally had a plan. So I'll rack up this credit card, then I'll balance transfer that credit card to a 0% balance transfer credit card. And when that one's about to expire and the interest will hit, I'll balance transfer to another 0% balance transfer credit card. It can only work for a certain amount of time. And with the detractors fucking with my income, as we've seen happen with the false copyright strikes and everything, it fell apart. Like I couldn't do it anymore. And then I just had to pay minimum payments on everything, and it all just fell apart. And then more stuff happened, which I think he's probably going to cover next with taxes and shit. It just kept compiling over and over. So that's my problem. My problem was the entire financing of the move and the way I paid for it was completely botched and done wrong. But the move itself, I don't regret at all. At all. I never regretted this move. I love the fact that I live here. It's much better than Connecticut. It's better weather. Everything out here has fixed my lifestyle and my back, And I never would have met my wife either. So there you go.
That's when people ask if he maintains social relationships. Quote, I talk to tons of people on a daily basis. A user then asks, I mean like relationships or friends outside of Twitch. Phil responds, I don't have time for in-person friends.
That's correct.
I'm constantly working. You realize I haven't had a day off since my time off in July, right? This is my life, and has been for quite a long time before I moved out here.
And that's my life right now. I work 6 days a week full time. I have to make ends meet, to pay the bills. That's what I've had to do for a very long time. The 1 day a week I take off, I'm running errands, I'm grocery shopping, and I'm spending time with my wife. And then I'm right back to the grind. And that's been my life ever since I moved out here. There's been no breaks. I've never had a vacation in 10 years. Hasn't happened. The one break I took, I went to Connecticut with my wife to get married, and I'm sure he's going to cover that. Outside of that, it's been work, work, work for me. That's my whole life. How on earth, how would I have time for friends when I have to work 6 days a week full time?
Then it got better for 3 years living with my ex. But now I'm back to square one, really. Unquote. As recoiled as Phil was, dealing with persistent copyright strikes and whatever else his life brought him, he clung onto whatever was left of his following. Typical in periods lacking interest, trolls are more likely to find entertainment from consuming one another. The reality of communities like the one that works against DSP is that they are far more nuanced that they lead on. From the outside looking in, the detractor community is powerful in coordinating their campaigns against Phil. In actuality, it is very divided. Some hate Phil, some just want to catch up periodically. The majority don't interact in any way. These differences create cyclical arguments, for example, those wanting no universal interaction with Phil. Some reasons may lie in entertainment, as Phil's passive failings tend to be the most entertaining. They could also just be aware that putting themselves out personally will lead to ridicule in a space that exploits any weakness. Or they simply feel sympathetic to his plight. On the other end, you'll have those that want interaction with Phil. These can be small by typing messages in his chat to get a reaction or requesting a song on the radio. That is the simple basis of trolling. The overall effects are minimal and hardly controversial. Then you have those that feel personally slighted by Phil and seek revenge. This is where the illegitimate copyright strikes come from. They want Phil to fail in any way, and few strategies are out of their purview. Truly, the only defense in this space is self-awareness and anonymity. These members lack both. And the most interesting part is all these people inhabit the same space. Whether it be the forums or Phil's chat, they can be seen arguing endlessly. It is only a community out of
For the record, Kiwi Farms are not my forums. The way he just said that, it made it sound like I run Kiwi Farms. I do not. That is a independent website run by Josh Moon. If you want to know about that, go watch the Kino Casino show that we did with Josh a week and a half ago, where I basically grilled him on it. I don't agree with that website and the way it operates at all, and the way that those people are just allowed to do the awful things they do. But yeah, that's not my website. The way he just said it there made it sound like he's saying, oh, Phil's forums or his chat. No, no, no. Do not even for a moment make people think that I run Kiwi Farms. Hell no.
convenience and nothing else. That's why it may look like the sons of Kojima would sit on top of this virtual hierarchy. But in actuality, the only thing they have claim to is they're the ones most dedicated to Phil. The group watches his streams for hours at a time to no benefit other than that claim. They are united by an overweight, middle-aged, failing, ailing creator. They were persistently hated.
Overweight, middle-aged, failing, ailing creator. Well, at least I'm happy that now I'm really not like that at all, right? I'm not really that overweight, a tiny bit. I'm not ailing, that's for sure. And as for the last month, I'm not failing. So, but you know what? For a while, that probably would have been true.
Within the detractor communities because they, being allowed to exist in their space, somewhat represented their community, albeit not accurately. Most dedicated channels, Twitter pages, and groups made for the sole purpose of following Phil are highly scrutinized, and if they become obsessed to the point they no longer represent any niche, they will always fail. That's why the Sons of Kojima collapsed in late 2017. Their leader, Fred Fox, was highly paranoid, morally confused, overall an oblivious individual. Though he was responsible for countless hours of footage criticizing Phil, he would crumble and get frustrated at even just his Encyclopedia Dramatica. These pages are known to be full of purposely inaccurate and exaggerative information to get a rise from who they're targeting. And his frustration from its creation further warranted its existence, as seen here where he is lambasting the creator of the page.
So how about this? I'll go fuck your mother for the laws and everything will be cool, right? No hard feelings?
I guess
Yeah,
if you want to like
twist the laws.
if you just want to twist my logic into black and white, there, sure.
No, I mean that's what you're saying. You're saying you could do something if it's just for the laws. Nobody's supposed to get mad or offended.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you shouldn't take fucking Encyclopedia page Dramatica seriously.
There are also times when they invited Mr. Medicare on, a creator well known for his banter.
Okay, how much money would it take, this is for all of you, for one of you to suck Phil's cock? What is the donation amount that would be required for you to get on your knees and orally pleasure Phil?
Whoever asked that, fuck you.
That means he's considering a number. You went silent because you did.
I'm not gonna answer because I'm not interested in that. That's fucked up.
So you're telling me you're not gonna suck a dick for $10 million?
No.
Really? You wouldn't suck a dick? You wouldn't get on your knees and slurp up some mayonnaise for $10 million fucking dollary dues?
I don't want to lose my dignity.
See, here's the thing. Like, the trolls that I have cannot take it. They dish it and dish it and dish it and dish it and dish it, but they have no concept of how to take it. They are good at being the punchers, but man, when it's their time to get punched at, they can't dodge for shit. They're like Glass Joe. They're like, ooh, they go down with one swing. I mean, just take a look at some of the shit that I've been doing recently with my own detractors on my channel. Dude streams and this fucking super crazy guy who are trying to do shit, and it's so easy to just turn their own bullshit back on them, and then they can't take it. They break, right? So here's a guy who literally is an internet troll. I mean, Medicare is a really good internet troll, correct? And he gives it right back to the Sons of Kojima, and they just fucking look like a bunch of fucking dippy-doo losers. They can't even say, oh, well, I would do my dignity. You can't say shit, but you can say it all day to me because I'm not there to respond to you because I'm doing my own shit in my own life. So you're talking basically to the wall, and the wall doesn't talk back, so you're fine. But the moment that someone talks back to you, holy shit, man. I mean, what a bunch of pussies, right? Anyway, I just received a $10 tip from Nico the Viewer. Happy to see how far you've come. I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you very much, Nico. $10 tip there. That will get us up to 37 out of our goal of 150 for the night. And to keep the king streak alive. Thank you very, very much, guys, so far. And again, if anyone contributes, I will shout it out. I promise you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's keep going. We're making good progress right now, so I want to keep it rolling.
Who
From
gives a shit about dignity? You got $10 million in the bank. You can make people forget with the money. You can black hole that shit on the internet. Does the thought of Phil gently rubbing your hair as he comes in your mouth, does that bother you that much?
What the fuck? It's just,
Jesus.
it's
They
just
can't
so
take it.
wrong on so many levels.
Well, there you go. They refused to answer. But if you notice, when I asked that question, they all went silent because they were thinking of a number. Every one of them was thinking of a number.
Some comments under this near 50-minute long video read, quote, Christ, without any DSP material to commentate over or talk about, these guys just got nothing.
Exactly. And that's exactly the same thing for every single detractor I've ever had. The only reason they exist is because they have me and I don't fight back. So they just keep going, riffing on me. But when they get anything turned against them, they're done. And what they don't realize is if I just turn off the stream and never turn it back on, their actual pertinence to the internet vanishes instantly. They are nothing but parasites on my back.
That's some weapons-grade humiliation. Christ, these guys are awkward. It makes me want to like Phil if these are his trolls. Unquote. On Kiwi Farms, there is a tremendous amount of information, detailing Fred's paranoia, his coordinated attacks at former and current members, his group's campaign of copyright striking DSP via fan art, and his attempts to regulate the community besides deciding what is and isn't allowed to be monetized on the basis of moral superiority over Phil. His antics and strange history are also entertaining. That was another reason why he was exposed and why there are over 2,000 posts discussing him. What mattered to
Wow.
Phil was that his most persistent detractor group was no more. And on September 2017, he released a twitlonger about it. It is here that Phil revealed that Panelli's father was swatted in the past. This
Yep.
to him made it clear that no one in proximity to him was safe. This is the reason why he claims to have skipped Panelli's brother's wedding.
That's
Quote,
right.
What did the SOK do? Well, first, they decided to find out the address and date of the wedding. Yes, that's entirely true. They're so fucking sick that they, on their own and without my mentioning it for months, researched and found the event, and then spread that info all over the internet. They then decided to spin it that the reason we weren't attending was because I had to force Leanna to skip it so I can stay home and play Fallout 4 to make money. They actually accused me of keeping her at home forcefully. It couldn't have been further from the truth. It was the crippling fear that the SOK themselves, who found the damn date and address of the wedding, would have swatted the wedding. That made us stay home. So not only were they the reason we missed the wedding, they then turned their own vile actions into a way to make us look bad after the fact. It's mind-numbing, isn't it? Unquote. After the fall of the sons of Kojima, there was a rise in more passive trolling. On Phil's forums, there was a crop-up of clear catfishes that had all miraculously turned 18 years old at the time. Then there was a pirate-themed treasure map made of the places Phil frequented and it was often thought to enjoy, with the inclusion of health foods and a gym placed just out of his reach due to the uncrossable bridge of certain death.
Wow.
On Instagram, there was a new strategy of trolling through indifference. No matter what picture Phil posted, there was bound to be tens, if not hundreds of comments stating two words. Well, really just one word with two variations. Comments were either okay or okay. Without fail, these cropped up and overwhelmed any other comment.
Yeah, but I never read the comments. I'm serious. Like, when I was posting stuff on Instagram, I knew that my viewers and fans would like it. I didn't care about the comments. I just completely ignored them. So they just wasted their time. I mean, like, they actually thought that was a meaningful use of their time, like they were trolling. I literally never saw any of those comments.
Even just comments wanting to understand what was going on were met with a single response, okay. Phil even treated his audience to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil here, and welcome to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Phil thought that this video was unique because of what he was unboxing. What made it unique was for the first 3 minutes, his reflection was easily visible, and he was doing two things. He was swaying left and right, and he was doing his famous T-pose. Phil had swayed much in the past, but rarely was it not in first-person view.
Oh, is that where the T-pose came from? I had absolutely no idea. I just learned that for the first time. So that's thing number 2 or 3 that I've now learned for the first time. I had no clue. The reason that I do that is because of my back. My back, if I just stand completely still for an extended period of time, I actually feel uncomfortable. Now, I had already been setting up to do that video or whatever. So usually when I do a video on my feet, I have to move around. When I'm on the phone, I start walking around. It's just natural. It keeps it so I don't have uncomfortable feelings in my back because of my back injury. That's why I do that. When I was in, when I worked at Wells Fargo, one of my actual coworkers called me Sway because she noticed that I did that. And I was like, yeah, I have pain if I just stand still. So, I mean, there you go. Now, the T-pose is just something I do. I do it on streams too. I'm like, hey, what's up, everyone? It's just something I do when like I'm excited, or I talk with my hands. I stretch my arms out all the time. You guys see it every day, right? Like literally every day. So that's just, yeah. But I had absolutely no clue. This is the first time ever that I'm actually realizing that that's where the T-pose comment came from. Okay.
He claims it is because of back issues.
Oh, there you go. The snorting.
The snorting is blamed on what DSP claims is a post-nasal drip.
Correct.
The snorting plays into his depiction of a pig. Combined with his ability to remain online and survive like a cockroach came the derisive nickname Pig Roach. His laugh, his sway, his snorts all could be, and some more, made into several minute-long compilations of Phil doing these singular actions. Phil doing these actions in tandem would also gain purchase. Then there were two food-related items that always got viewers' attention. The first was sparked by this tweet where DSP states he likes penne. What he means is he likes the pasta, but in Spanish, penne means penis. The last item viewers took note in was his drink of choice.
I think gin and tonic is my drink of choice. Not every single day, but I do have a gin and tonic or two every once in a while, maybe, you know, a few times a week at night to unwind, especially if it's been a stressful day or if my back's hurting me. And yes, I do have a drink. Some gin and tonic. I guess I'll start the night right with a sip. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. I have a drink tonight. I have a gin and tonic next to me, which I'll be sipping from time to time. I won't be downing the whole thing.
It was not often that Phil drank on stream. However, this proclivity did extend outside of his streams. Sometimes the bottle or mixed drinks made his way into his vacation videos.
Everything else here, including the gin, which I'll probably drink mixed with that.
Now, keep in mind, this is spanning a 16-year history, okay? So, I mean, I didn't even document that many vacations, maybe a few. And yeah, a couple of them I had gin. Yes, I would drink every once in a while, like June said. It was infrequently. But this became a meme with my detractors that Phil just literally drinks gin all the time. And he even has it in the thumbnail of the documentary because of that. It's like, it actually couldn't be further from the truth. Like, I'll be honest with you guys right now. You ready? I drink probably tequila, vodka, and rum way more than I drink gin. If I drink anything right now, recently, I probably would have been having some tequila. But I don't even drink gin that much anymore. If I drink it, it's very rare. It'll be like when I'm out and I'm having a mixed drink or whatever. I wouldn't even buy it to have it around the house. But their meme, again, what happens is they focus on one little thing. Like, they hyper-focus on one little thing. Get it? They hyper-focus on one little thing. Get it? They hyper-focus on one minuscule little thing as if it's a big thing. And then they turn it into a meme that they all repeat ad nauseum in a groupthink cultish way. So now it becomes a joke to them, despite the fact that the outside world, people will be like, why is someone drinking gin funny? All right. So one more time, they hyper focus on one stupid, insignificant little thing, and they can't control themselves from hyper focusing on it. I think some of you may be understanding what I'm getting at here. Okay? I think you're starting to see the pattern that I'm trying to allude to. All right? Thank you very much. Okay. By the way, I received a $20 tip. I'm tipping because it seems to make other people mad, and I find that funny. Wow. Well, thank you for the $20 tip. Listen, I wish you would tip because you're enjoying the react or because you like my content. But you know what? I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say thank you for the $20 tip, and I'm going to accept it because it works us towards our goal. We're now at 57 out of the 150 goal to keep the king streak alive at 35. So let's keep it alive at 35 tonight, folks. Thank you so much to everyone here who's chilling and enjoying and supporting. And let's keep it rolling, shall we? All right, let's keep going. Hyper focus on one little thing. Okay.
Sprite.
To indulge so much cost Phil a fair bit. But now, in addition to owing money to credit card companies and the like, he, in September, found that he owed money to a fierce collector.
I get this letter, all right?
Oh, this is the beginning of the taxes saga. For sure, this is the taxes saga. Here we go.
I get this letter, And the letter says, we suspect that you are doing business in the state of Washington under the name DSP Gaming. Okay? We believe that you need to register and pay state business and occupation taxes. Please answer all of these questions for us. So if you want to know, I actually now know the true story of what happened. Would you like to know what happened? It was my trolls. You want to know what they did? They registered my house on like Google Maps or Google Business as a registered business, even though I don't have a registered business address like that. That's not the kind of business I have. I do have a business in my name, legally registered, but it's not that kind of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a public business where you would have a physical location. So they posted it on there so that, you know, oh, look, Phil does. I didn't do it. They impersonated me. They actually used my information to create a fake Google like business account. They put it on my house geolocation, tagged my house, and then they sent that to the fucking state tax group people and said, look, there's a business over there. Someone's doing business and they're not paying taxes. This is completely true. And then they contacted me because of that. Yes, if there's a Burnell Enterprises sitting on Google Maps right now, that my trolls made that. I didn't make that. I don't even know how to get rid of it. I have no clue. Because my business is not a physical address for anything. Like, you wouldn't mail me at Burnell Enterprises here or whatever, you know. In fact, that's not even the name of my business, FYI. It's not called Burnell Enterprises. So they did that, and then they fucking notified the tax people and got me in trouble. And here's the story. Here it comes.
Phil, since he moved to Washington, had not been paying state taxes. He claims the reason behind this is because he continued to list the services of his accountant from Connecticut.
To clear the air here, because a lot of people have misconceptions, my tax attorney in the state of Connecticut was a certified public accountant, was a dean of accounting at a college for several years, and was one of the highest accredited guys in the state of Connecticut. This is not some Joe Schmo asshole who I just got. And by the way, I paid this guy thousands of dollars to do my taxes. All right. I think the most he ever charged me was like over $1,500 one year to do my taxes properly.
The importance of this is now Phil was claiming to owe state taxes since 2014.
Yep.
Stacking yet another reason why 2017 was the year that finally doomed Phil financially. But at least he wasn't bankrupt. The grander and more dramatic reveal this year was of his new girlfriend. Yet the reveal photos only show the back of her head. Phil, to be able to hide a relationship for this long was surprising. A reason for only showing the back of her head was that Phil was slowly starting to separate his personal and online life, meaning that there will no longer be condo tours or virtually any videos outside of his office, save for a few additional DSP Tries-It videos, like his attempt to recreate the virality of his Axe body scrubber video. This could only be beneficial. It wouldn't allow viewers to analyze his new purchases, his eating habits, anything that can be used against him, or even the people around him. Keeping Kat anonymous was likely Phil's attempt to protect her, though it did have its weakness and was immediately exploited.
So they fabricate this story that
There we go. Now it's time. I guess the taxes saga wasn't very big. It was very lame, actually. He didn't go into it too far. So this is the escort saga, which I have no involvement with whatsoever. I literally have no involvement with this at all. This is all on my trolls and crazy people. Okay.
I hired an escort to come visit me during my Christmas break. I paid her.
You guys like the Phil Show? Look at this. Should I get a neon sign behind me that says the Phil Show? Because now that background's outdated because I just changed my background. Should I get a neon sign that says the Phil Show behind me? Would you like that? Right? Why not?
Thousands of dollars, or owe her thousands of dollars, apparently. I don't even know what the full story is because I'm not really following it.
Well, true to her word, Kimberly did know where to release that information too. Over on the forum, Kiwi Farms, a mysterious woman shows up to elaborate on what's going on.
In December 2017, a mysterious woman claiming to be a high-end escort with a history with Phil was claiming that Phil had not paid her, and if she did not receive the money owed, then she would release all the details of the event. And so she did. On Kiwi Farms, she developed a somewhat shallow story of Phil taking her out to dinner and spending a fair amount of money on her. Sprinkled in are notes about his bad credit, his disappointing manhood, and general notes on his house.
By the way, thank you to Dick Jones, who just gifted 5 memberships to the community. Thank you for the first gifted subs of the night there. I take that back. Nathan Smith did some earlier, but thank you for that, Dick Jones. And thank you everyone who's hanging out. Wow, over 1,000 viewers yet again, 3 nights in a row is pretty amazing. We're getting to it. I know you guys are here for WWE Champions. All right, it's coming, okay? By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, please give it a like. We're at 194. Let's get to 250 right now. With over 1,000 people, I know we can hit 250 likes right now. And please consider supporting the stream. We hit that 150 goal. We continue the King's streak. Here we go.
This reads as too good to be true, as it's hitting the notes that want to be heard, while simultaneously not providing evidence outside of a testimony. The Kiwi Farms users were highly skeptical, but even so were enjoying the chaos this person was causing. But day after day of not providing a single piece of evidence and users finding strange inconsistencies in her story, it was clear that the pieces were not fitting.
No, I'm going to be honest here. This is complete bullshit. They totally entertained this for many, many months and never really complained. And then all of a sudden, like, one person actually researched it and found out the truth. And then other people started researching it and then they found out the truth. Oh, no, they loved it because they're going to spin it. They spin it to this day. Oh, we're the reason we found out that this was fake. I told you it was fake. I told you there's literally no evidence whatsoever. It's all circumstantial. You made it up. But no one wants to believe Phil. Everyone wants to believe the negative dramatic about Phil. There wasn't a single piece of evidence this person ever presented that wasn't just circumstantial, and it proved nothing. But people hate me so much, they all believed it for like many months. And then after many months of this going on, someone finally wised up and figured the whole thing out, which is fucked up that I get basically shat on for so many months for absolutely no reason and no evidence.
It was only after users discovered that the images were not of this person's origin that she comes out and says she was hacked. It was not her at all. It was a catfish using her Twitter with stolen images. But no one was convinced. As a final Hail Mary, this person attempted to shift the blame on Fred Fox of the defunct Sons of Kojima by taking down their website and bringing it back up with the simple Fred Fox in the heading.
Right.
It was not until this fake escort's identity was found under a different name, Angelina Capri, that the true culprits were unmasked. It was quite easy to find the domain registry, and with it came the identity. The culprits quickly tried to amend this information, but it had already been archived. The original registry had their full name, address, phone number, and their email. This gave the Kiwi Farms users everything they needed, and soon the culprits were fully doxxed, including their cat. Revealed and archived was their personal YouTube channel, one of their daughter's YouTube channels, Twitter's photo buckets, a lengthy history of information that was more than enough anyone needed to confirm this married couple ran an extortion and impersonation racket.
Just think about that. A married couple is running an extortion and impersonation racket, and apparently what they were trying to do was get so much negative shit out there about me that then they were going to blackmail me into paying them money. What they didn't realize, ladies and gentlemen, is that they already were fucking with the most hated man on the internet, so I didn't give two fucks what they said about me. They ruined themselves by, instead of, you know what I mean? Like, they could have went for this fruit or this fruit. They touched the fucking immune fruit, the spiky ass fruit. They reached it. Oh, my hand's stuck. Oh, I can't get my hand off this. What's going on? It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. And that's exactly what happened. You can't fuck with me because I've already been fucked with so much by everyone. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm completely immune to anyone saying shit about me because you've already said the lowest thing about me possible. So who gives a fuck if an escort is real or fake? Who gives a fuck about any of this, right? So they fucked themselves. Who even knows? For the record, they never actually like personally wrote me. I'm assuming that was coming. If they didn't get blown up like this, they probably would have. Or you know what? I'll say this too. Maybe they did. But I get so many fucking spam emails and troll emails and fucked up emails. It all goes to my fucking spam filter. Maybe it was just they were pinging me for months and it just went to spam, and I never saw it. So I never knew anything about being extorted or anything because I never even heard from them. How funny is that? They were doing this for months for what? For nothing. There was nothing was ever going to come of it anyway, which is pretty fucking funny. Anyway, I just received a $30 tip from Guitar Player. I've never understand why people are so obsessed with your private life because there is no reason to be obsessed with my private life except, like you just said, obsession, like illness. That simple. These people's lives are so. Here we go. I didn't mean to click that. These people's lives are so boring that they need to fucking dwell on someone else's. You know what I mean? Oh, come on. What is this bullshit? I want to play a $30 animation. You're going to let me, goddammit. You're not going to fight with me. Guitar Player did the biggest tip of the night, and we're going to play him an animation. Test. Thank you. There we go. Thank you, guitar player. Fuck, the animation's gonna piss me off. No, you're not. You're gonna do what I say, or I'm gonna whop you on the head with my royal scepter. Okay, so thank you, guitar player. Okay. Shit. Now I really fucked up. It's supposed to be 87 out of 150. I'm botching everything right now. Okay, I think we're all right. And I just received another $10 tip. This one says, enjoying the react. Let's hit this goal. Thank you. So thank you for a $10 tip. And that will get us up to $97 in tips. We are about 2/3 of the way there to the goal for the night. Anything is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so very much. The night is young. We haven't even been at it for an hour. There is much more coming tonight, including probably what all of you are waiting for. Don't worry. The moment is coming. Okay? All right. Cool. 97. Did I do it again? 90. I'm not used to my new keyboard. I'm totally not used to my new keyboard in any way. All right. Thank you so much. Let's continue.
They had a history of impersonating beautiful women and using their images to create profiles on adult websites where the wife would livestream her real body and pleasure herself, but only reveal her lower half as to not spoil the ruse. It was only when they tried to extort Phil through a different tactic and interact with his highly paranoid community that this was all discovered. If there was any doubt left, Phil would cave in and reveal his girlfriend Kat, who moved in shortly after.
Number one, like I said, it's the best relationship I've ever been in my life, okay? I feel like she's my soulmate. I do. I truly do. And I am in love with her. Absolutely. She's in love with me. And if she were to move in, number one, she has a job that she, can probably find a job out here similar or whatever and make income to help immediately. It sucks. I was so sick. I remember I was really sick this Christmas, but I needed to do my marathon and everything. I had to work. So here I am toughing through. My throat's all fucked up and shit. That's why I sound so bad. Number two, cooking and everything, helping with the responsibilities of the house so I can get back to how I was.
And cook Kat did. The pair seemed well off. Even if Kat did appear awkward and uninteractive on stream, her uncombativeness was welcome. Where this Kat reveal caused relief.
The reason that he said that, her uncombativeness was welcome, because my ex was so combative with the audience, and people were like, wait, she's like the polar opposite.
The next Kat reveal only brought frustration. What Phil was currently revealing was a sponsorship from OP Seats. The same day Phil revealed it, OP Seats terminated their contract with Phil due to the backlash they were getting.
So let's talk, because I want to tell you the full story of how I one prime example of why I basically cannot get sponsorships. This is it right here. Dead on, 100%. Here we go. Change sponsorship. And then all of a sudden, because of the actions of trolls, the sponsorship is now gone. Okay?
Even so, in February, Phil procured a different sponsor but remained with a similar product of a gaming chair. Gaming chairs across the board are disreputable for their style of function. That was not the only reason SpawnSeats, the sponsor of Phil, was getting backlash. As it was discovered, this new company was not really a company at all. It was a person drop shipping cheap gaming chairs with an inflated price. So not only did this new sponsorship fall through, the company attached to it failed along with it. Phil was hardly sympathetic.
Fact of the matter is, folks, it doesn't really affect me because guess what? I mean, I got the chair. I got the chair already. That's why I didn't do a lick of promotion until I got the chair. And I talked to the guy up front about this, the possibility of nasty shit happening. And he said, no, I understand. Don't worry, we'll put up with it. It is what it is, guys. I'm sorry, I never used that was so based. I'm sorry, that was a based comment. Because it's true. I told the guy up front, I was like, I already had a sponsorship with the chair company, and my trolls harassed them, and it fell through. And he's like, that's okay, we'll still handle it. I was like, are you sure? All right. I was like, all right, buddy. You're biting off more than you can chew, but whatever. You send me that chair, it's mine. I ain't shipping it back. And that's exactly what happened. He sent me the chair, and then they went out of business within like a month. And my chair it's crappy. Like, the chair's not good at all. It's not this chair. This is a good chair. This is one I bought. But no, I take it back. Actually, now that I'm misremembering, a fan actually got me this chair. So I take that back. I don't want to insult the fan who bought this for me. The chair from SpawnSeats, yeah, it's crap. It's a crappy ass chair. Within like a few months of owning it, you know how it's the hydraulic pump or whatever's in there, it's the height elevation or whatever, you pull it, you go up and down. It broke. So if it goes up and you sit down, it goes, like, dude, I only used it for like 3 months, thing's broken already. So thank God I didn't get into a contract there selling those pieces of shit, right? But all those suck. All those fucking chairs suck. Every one of them is overpriced garbage. I received a $6.66 tip. When I don't like something, I simply move on and forget it. Oh, well, get filtered detractors. Thank you so much for a 666 tip. That calls for a custom 666 animation here tonight. We all know that I am the devil incarnate. We all know this. That's why this documentary was made. So here we are. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we're over 100. We're in the home stretch into the final third of hitting stream number 35 of hitting the King's streak. By the way, another tip came in. $4.97. Now that's a weird one. Let's see. So this is from someone who's saying they don't want to have their name called out, but they say, I used to be a mod on your forums very, very long ago. Jude's Doc has reminded me of you. I heard you're working on improving yourself and owning up to past problems. I want to say I'm very happy to hear that. We really agreed and butted heads a lot, and we ended up walking out. But it's not like you were an irredeemable piece of crap. We saw things differently. I hope this question comes to terms with your past. I am so fucking different now, and I know exactly who this person is. I used to go at odds with my mods for no fucking reason whatsoever, just because, again, I thought that I was like some high and mighty dude who was above criticism. My shit didn't stink. How dare you criticize the content creator and say, you're supposed to be my moderator. Why are you arguing with me, right? What a dumb thing to say. If your moderator is actually at odds with you, it's probably because they know you better than everyone and they want to help you and they're trying to give you constructive criticism and shit. And I refuse to take it. Instead, I would argue with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, really terrible things. I really acted poorly. So I just want to say to this person, because they know who they are, they're obviously here, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry that I was an argumentative, stubborn, not willing to listen to criticism little bitch back then. I have changed, and I am willing to now fess up to that, that I was bad back then, and I'm very sorry for my behavior. Okay, let's continue.
Much as detractors work to spoil his mood, they can hardly compete with the natural and novel interactions Phil has, like with this 11-year-old on VR chat.
Can you please go in the
This dude, we're going to do this one. This is funny. Let's do it. Ready? Here we go.
waiting room?
Sure, where is the waiting room?
Right behind you, idiot. You click on that.
Call me an idiot.
You didn't have to call me an idiot. I just walked in the door. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, if you look around, you would have been able to know.
What a brat. Is it my first time ever playing VR chat? I walk into a random room, right? And I'm just looking around. Like, literally, I'm just looking around. And the brat runs up to me and says, go to the waiting area. Okay, well, where is it? Right over there, you idiot. What the fuck? I just showed up. It's like my first experience ever playing this game. And this is immediately what I'm presented. Like, what? You heard what they said? Oh, you should look around. Well, the wall of instructions is over there. So if I go over there, you're going to yell at me and say that I'm not in line. It's like, why am I even arguing with this child? Okay, so now listen to what I say.
It literally says waiting room on top of it.
Wow. You're quite rude.
Wow. I'm 11. Deal with it.
Good, now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that. I would have fucking pimp slapped that shit out of that.
Now, do you really think I would have pimp slapped the shit out of that kid in real life? No. I would never strike a child. But it's funny to say, if they're going to fucking say shit to me in an online setting, that I could say shit back, and there's nothing they can fucking do about it, right? You want to know the truth? My trolls mass flagged that video saying that I was bullying a child, okay? YouTube, being stupid, actually flagged my video and said that I had broken community terms of service. I disputed it and I got it removed. I said, you're out of your mind. The child is not there. I'm not slapping a child. What are you talking about? Do you even understand the English language? So they reversed it. So yeah, shit like that. I'm not kidding. Every moment, everything I say on a stream, they are always mass flagging me and trying to get me into trouble for shit that I didn't do anything wrong. Like, what did I do wrong there? Nothing.
This Pokemon-themed pixel art was made to commemorate the occasion. These small moments carried Phil's live streams for 2018. Nothing individually significant happening, but enough happening to remind the internet of his existence. This all hardly competed with ongoing events, relative to the collaboration between popular live streamer Ninja and popular musician Drake.
This is great. This is great too. I'm happy he put this in there. I can't wait to comment on this one. So here we go.
DSP was practically non-existent, until he began tweeting about their collaboration, starting by calling Drake and Ninja overrated. Phil sought to detract from this collaboration, from the likes of which were rarely, if ever, seen. Tweet after tweet, he argued with Twitter users. At some point, he even slighted PewDiePie, claiming he is a product of hype and not quality content. Either of these interactions...
Now, in reality, this is probably me. I wonder, because he doesn't have date and timestamps on here. You gotta wonder, am I drunk? Just throwing that out there. Am I miserable? Am I drunk right now? And just being stupid and raging at the internet on my fucking social media because I don't give a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Probably. I can't see me doing this during the day when I'm streaming all day, working. So when exactly was I doing this? You know what I'm saying? It's probably the middle of the night. I'm drunk. I'm acting like an idiot, right? But this is the kind of shit that they like freak out about. They're like, oh, you see, he did this, he did that. Dude, who cares? The Drake and Ninja collaboration, with so many people were like, oh my God, if Drake and Ninja are playing Fortnite, this is the ultimate crossover of all time. It will change gaming forever. So what exactly did it change? Did gaming blow up because Drake played fucking Fortnite with Ninja? No, you stupid rubes. You all buy hype. That's the thing that I've always been against. People who are so dumb, they buy hype for no fucking reason. And they think that there was zero importance to that event. They could have turned on a stream and someone farted into the fucking microphone for 2 straight hours and turned it back off, and it would have had just as much impact as the Ninja and Drake stream. It didn't matter. But everyone on the internet, oh, they're playing. Shut the fuck up. It's stupid as shit. It didn't affect anything. Didn't help anyone but Ninja. That was it. Drake didn't need it. It helped Ninja. It helped Ninja's career. So if you think that helping Ninja's career was a world-shaking gaming event, go for it, you know? I mean, here we are years later. Ninja is still successful, but he's sure not how popular as he used to be, right? Maybe if he kept doing collabs like that, he would have been. But now he's doing his own thing, and more power to him for succeeding and keeping to do what he wants to do. But no one gave a fuck about this who had a brain, okay?
Struck a chord, or Phil was just in many prominent content creators' minds, as in not-so-quick succession, they took their turns mocking Phil. Like iDubbbz promoting the idea of Phil doing a collaboration with any rapper. In the background, there were leaks about Phil
I didn't know about that. I also don't care. Who gives a fuck what iDubbbz has to say today? Take a look at that guy.
wanting to take down a video that for a short moment mentioned the escort saga. But in the foreground was PewDiePie.
You may not like it, but this is what peak performance look like. Onion Man versus Soy Boy.
iJustine was goaded into another response from the same quote. And Phil finally also made it into a Watch Mojo video.
This Twitch user had the bad idea of prematurely turning on his camera.
It's completely wrong. This Twitch user, I wasn't doing that on Twitch. That happened on YouTube. Their countdown it was the top 10 like worst moments on Twitch or most embarrassing moments on Twitch, and they said I was #1, and I didn't stream on Twitch. So just think about that. It's a Watch Mojo video, and they're wrong all about it. They're completely wrong. The whole premise of the video is wrong. I wasn't on Twitch.
Right before starting the live stream, he gives himself a short break to relax.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
Still the best quote
There
ever.
was a renaissance
How
of
can you not think
sorts
that's
in
the
ways
best quote
creators
ever?
were able to make Phil entertaining. Few as creative as El Crimson King.
What do you say? El piece of shit? King?
This disc? You see this fucking piece of garbage disc?
Fuck it. It's gonna stay back there forever. I'm never fucking picking it up again. Don't ever ask. Is this where the rumor or the puppet came from or whatever? Because I didn't even know that this was real. Ask me to play that fucking game again. That's the worst fucking game. That game is way worse than Revolution 60. Seriously.
You click on that.
You didn't have to call me an idiot. I just walked in the door. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
This video would be honored by the creation of its own snort compilation. This emphasis on creative ways to mock Phil made the latter half of 2018 appear creatively bankrupt in comparison.
So whatever happened to that puppet? Does it still exist? I want that puppet. Whoever has that puppet, contact me. I want it for my setup. I'll put it right behind me 1 month. I'll have it sitting right here next to me the whole fucking time. I want that puppet for my setup. That's awesome. I have literally not a problem whatsoever with that puppet. That puppet is amazing. I want it.
In the same vein, Phil was also suffering from his own potential bankruptcy.
Basically, in a nutshell, without going into too much detail,
I'm not partnered anymore.
In July, he announced that he had split from Curse, claiming the separation to be amicable. Now, having to rely on his own, unsuspended assets account, Phil found that he was making far less than he was with his partnership. On top of this, his views were halved without explanation, going from an average of $2 million a month to hovering just around $1 million.
Yeah.
And so Phil did what he calls an emergency livestream.
Yeah, and I have no idea what happened there at all. My only guess is that once again, somehow YouTube kind of blacklisted the channel and didn't put it into the algorithm. Because I'd worked hard since 2015 when I had those false copyright strikes to bust my ass, to keep putting out content and stay the course. Really, I did. And for some reason, all of a sudden there was another big dip in views. And it didn't make sense. Like, where'd this dip come from? It doesn't really make sense. And by the way, it happened again last year too. These dips just happen. I didn't change my content. I didn't piss anyone off. There's no giant controversy going on or anything at the time. It just happens out of nowhere. It's like, so what caused it? All right, is this going to be the beginning of the emergency streams saga, perhaps? Let's see.
Trying to brainstorm ways and goad sympathetic viewers to help with donations. Provided was also advice. A common recommendation is to get a job outside of content creation. Phil, not wanting to consider this option, had these messages delivered in rather creative ways. Phil, being a fan of the WWE, reacted to this person holding up a sign that reads, quote, DSP get a job, unquote. This was not even the first time this happened. Last year, a person held up a similar sign, though less legible. Phil, opting to continue streaming to a dwindling audience, would suffer the consequences of dealing with his remaining audience. These are superfans that stuck with him regardless of countless examples of Phil's ill will, and on the other side are his most persistent trolls that remain even after the majority of trolls lost interest in Phil's cyclical nature. On the other side was a user known as Student Common, or Tut for short.
Ooh,
they
King
came
Tut
in
saga.
donating thousands of dollars, but also used the money they donated as leverage as they could circumvent what will get a normal person banned simply because of their influence. But even Tut pushed this beyond what Phil could endure. After creating much unwanted attention for Phil and Phil pushing back, Tut threatened to charge back the money he donated. A chargeback is when someone donates money, gets the desired effect of having the streamer read their message, and then, in a later date, petitions PayPal or whatever financial medium they're using to get their money back.
Yep.
This is done by stating that the money was fraudulently sent or by other dishonest means. And Tut did try to charge back some of that money, only to fail as PayPal sided with Phil.
Yep.
This was a victory for Phil, but in the grand scheme of how much he was bound to owe, it didn't seem like much.
In addition to my normal income, I need to raise about another roughly $16,000 between now and April.
This plays into why Phil is labeled as an e-beggar, a person that petitions, guilts, or even demands donations from their audience. While it is normal for streamers to subtly stimulate donations through appreciation, Phil's tactics are more direct.
So, oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. You know, now it's 2024, correct? It is 2024, and basically today, as you guys know, over the last several years, I've tried to change for the better. A lot of people have called me out for being bad to my audience, including Moist Critical did it live on a stream. Okay, hold on. I do want to say something at length about this, okay? And basically, in the last couple of years, I've had a real kind of revelation about all this, and I agree now. Back then, again, I didn't because I was stupid, and I was scared. I was in financial distress. You know, literally, sometimes I was going paycheck to pay for stuff. This is leading up to my bankruptcy saga, which is what's going to be next, I think, in the documentary. And essentially, now I've tried to be better, okay? But back then, I will 100, 1,000, 1,000,000% agree with my critics. It was obnoxious. It was way over the top. It was fucking insanely annoying, right? When you tune into a stream, you want to be entertained. So the entertainment should be henceforth coming first. Not, by the way, guys, I really need you to pay me today. I really need you to, you know, make sure that I don't lose my house and I don't fucking have a problem with this or that. I need to raise this much in a certain amount of months. People want to just lose themselves in entertainment and not think about their own personal trials and things. So if they're coming to your stream for that, why do they want to hear about yours? Correct? I took the opposite attitude. I'll be transparent with the audience and tell them all of my problems. And hopefully that will convince them to help. No, the audience just wants to have fun. And if the audience is having fun, then they will reciprocate with financial support. You see? Now, like I said, I was desperate. I was in a really bad life situation for several years there. And I had a bunch of big problems, all right? I admit it. And now things are very different. This last month and a half, things are exploding, and I don't really have to worry that much anymore. So you notice I'm not doing it, but I've already made changes. For example, right? We used to have monthly celebration events based on the number of members that I had on this channel, okay? I got rid of them. I said, you know what? Instead of motivating people to become a member to do an event, let's just do the event, and if people like the event, maybe they'll become a member. See? It's the opposite. You give the content they want, and then they'll support, instead of saying support, and then I'll give you the content you want. I reversed it, and that's been for a year and a half, 2 years we've been doing it like that. So I'm making these changes slowly to try to make the content less about screaming at the audience for, hey, pay. But it's like the guys at Kino Casino say, ask and you shall receive. Every once in a while, bring it up. Right now, I take a look at the stream. We got over 1,100 viewers. We have 250 likes. Let's get it to 300 right now. If you guys are watching this stream right now and enjoying, please click like. It helps this channel tremendously. It helps me. It makes more content to be made, right? Please do some super chats, maybe some gifted memberships to the community, and let's hit this tips goal right here of 150 to keep this king streak alive and going. Let's keep the hype going. Let's felt my detractors. You see, you get hype. It's positivity. When you spin it like that, instead of, oh, woe is me, I need monies because so I have bills to pay, and no one wants to hear that shit, right? But I've learned through experience. All of this criticism of me doing this so much in the past is 100% correct. But I know that now. You only know that once you go through doing the wrong thing, learn from experience, and then change for the better. This was the wrong way to go about it, and now I agree with all of this. It was fucked up to go do it this way. Taxes are going to be my main thing I have to figure out this year. Making enough money not only to pay the bills, but my taxes are coming up, and right now I'm focused on just getting through this year. Hopefully being able to pay my taxes somehow. I'll be honest with you guys. Yeah, taxes are always something that are on my mind. I've got tax payments due. My state taxes are due in January. My federal taxes are due in April. If I could get through paying the taxes for next year, the federal taxes, their taxes were high. Things like tip goals and the like on stream to try to raise funds for my taxes and all that.
This very much works. In December, Phil's relentless discussions of money launched him into the 4th highest number of Tier 3 subs. These are subscribers that cost $25, and somehow Phil got 204 of them.
Yes, because this was one person. This was one incredibly generous person who came on Twitch and gifted all of those to the community. Actually, we had more than 204. Did we not? Didn't that person come on and gift like insane amount? I think they did. I want to say they gifted more than that. Maybe I'm just misremembering because it's been so long. But yeah, like they came in and they just gifted like crazy. It was wild how much they did. And it was within like 2 weeks they did it too.
With an average of 372 viewers means that each viewer paid on average $13 solely.
So just think about that. That was what year is that? We're talking about 2018? So in 2018, I only had 372 viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, right now I have 1,142 viewers. Okay? So I'm just saying the eternal, downfall of Darkside Phil. I'm just saying I think things have changed, but it's been a recent change. So I don't fault June for calling the documentary this, but I get it. Like, it really did look like it was down, and then all of a sudden now I've got this resurgence. But I'm just saying that's a kind of a flip the other way, don't you think? By the way, I received a $20 tip. Bring back the $18,000 goal, someone says. The only way I would bring an $18,000 goal is, number one, if it was a charity stream, or number two, it was concretely for something crazy like medical bills that came up out of nowhere or something. I would never do that for personal shit. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Okay.
From their Tier 3 subs. But also, the donations are disproportionate as subscriptions can be gifted. Donations in other tiers of sub
They were literally all gifted, every one of those.
Have also been taken into consideration, and Phil also receives donations that for the time being were not accounted for. Typically, surges in donations or the like are linked to unique or interesting streamers rising in the ranks, receiving donations to produce more of their content. And to Phil's credit, he was planning to do something unique. Something no streamer would ever even consider. And that is a marathon to raise money to pay for his taxes.
All right, it's going to be via tips, meaning the only real viable way for you to contribute and help me out in this situation is to tip me, because you tip me via sending funds to my PayPal, and that allows me to... I do wish that his editors did a better job with the audio, because I could barely hear myself talking right now. But then again, that was my setup's fault. My setup, the audio was super low for many years. I don't know why. Thank you, EDW Raptor. EDW Raptor with a $20 super chat saying, we hit the goal, chat. Well, number one, no, we didn't, because even if that was a tip, we still wouldn't have hit 150. And number two, super chats don't count towards the tips goal. So we do need $23 more in tips to hit the goal and continue the streak. However, that helps a ton, EDW Raptor. It does, so thank you there. Hellrider did a super chat saying, you're telling me we spent a year securing the sanctuary against criminals and we were robbed by otters. Yes, I have no idea what Hellrider is talking about, but thank you for the super chat there, Hellrider. Okay, let's continue. To have those funds right away and put those funds toward my taxes.
The marathon was to take place in March of 2019. The goal was to raise around $5,000 through tips.
2018 or 19, did he say? I cleared my throat and I missed it. Can I go back? How do you go back 10 seconds? Okay. Okay, and put those funds toward my taxes.
The marathon was to take place in March of 2019.
It was 2019. Crunchiest Onion did a super chat, says, did you ever annoy yourself with the begging? Can I be honest with you? I hate it. I hate having to beg on stream. All I want to do in the morning is turn on my stream, hang out with you guys during a fun podcast, turn on a game and play it, or, you know, do something together, whatever it is. It's React Day. We watch clips together. I love that. I love the social aspect. All I want to do is be able to do that every day and not have to worry about money. And you know what really is, what makes me feel sad is that back when I was a YouTuber, before I was a live streamer and I was popular, I never worried about money. Every day was like a party. I turned on my camera. I played games with my friends. We pumped out the videos. We made money and we didn't have to worry about anything. And then as soon as I moved across the country and all the hater shit started, it was issue with money, 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 issue with money. And it was nonstop. And it killed me. It changed me. It corrupted me. It turned me into this twisted, greedy, dark, always paranoid, worried individual. At what moment will all of this be pulled out from under me and I can't make money anymore? What's the next fucked up thing a detractor's going to do to me or my family that's going to ruin us, right? So, yeah, all that shit changed me for the worst. You know, it really, really did. And I don't like doing it at all. Not to this day. Now I like joking with you guys about, oh, fill the king's coffers with coin. That's joke. It's funny. It's a positive, silly spin on it, right? We all know what it is. It's just a joke. But back then, it was like super e-begging, e-begging, e-begging. I hated it. I absolutely hated this shit. Okay. So thank you, Crunchiest Onion. Let's keep going. Let's play while I update the leaderboard.
The goal was to raise around $5,000 through tips. And as Phil mentioned, the tips he received, which is the money he made through PayPal and not subscriptions or other Twitch integrated services, would be used towards taxes.
More than likely, probably now, at this point, I've probably raised like around $900 to $950 because every dollar tip I only get 67 cents out of. I probably got, no lie, like $500 tips today, and all those only like 60%. So, but it is what it is. Thank you guys.
This was not very close to his $5,000 goal. So Phil did a second marathon in April where he made a bit more money as seen through the bar at the top. Again, stating where all the money would go to.
I said, so people have been asking me questions like, so what's going to happen now? It's very simple. With all the money that I've raised for these taxes, I'm going to go to my tax guy and say, this is what I have.
There was some natural skepticism and some paranoia.
By the way, I know where June's going with this because he actually asked me directly about this. So I'm about to get felted, everyone. Remember, prepare your butts. If you want to see the king get destroyed right now, I'm about to be crushed and destroyed by June. He got me on this one really good, and I have absolutely no defense for it. So let's go.
Around Phil, as he has shown himself to be a dishonest person. And so, in the detractor community, wild theories spread, but only the most gullible swallowed all theories around Phil. The newest theory came from the blindsiding reveal that Phil had gotten married to Kat and used the funds earned from the tax marathon streams to finance some of the wedding.
That's completely false. That's not true at all. But I think that June catches me in another way coming up, so we'll see.
But Phil got on stream to quell some of the unrest.
And by the way, as I'm going to explain, don't worry, again, everything's going to be explained. Everything I've told you guys up front about that stuff is true. everything, every dollar that was raised to help with taxes is going towards the taxes. Dun, dun, dun. So here's the endless loop of what happens with me is that something happens that's positive, right? My detractors make something negative about it and accuse me of something. And I stupidly buy into it hook, line, and sinker. I go on stream and I say, hey, everyone, this is blah, blah, blah. And if I just kept my mouth shut, no one would care. But instead, I open my mouth to directly respond to the detractors. And every fucking time that I usually have done that, it shoots me in the ass, right? Every single time that I did that, it's like, haha, see, we got him. So you heard what I said there, correct? I said every single dollar that we raised during that marathon has gone to taxes. Let's continue, and I have some shout-outs to do, but let's continue. Let's finish this point first, and then I'll do the shout-outs.
Now Phil is reasserting that all the money went to taxes. But later in the day, he states that was not the case.
Yep, and I did. I did 2 different marathon events, all right, that raised, in total, if you actually look at the amount of tips that I raised that can go towards these taxes, was around, I think, I want to say just under $2,500. But also what people need to understand, which they don't, is that normally I raise tips, and normally tips go to paying bills. So even though I raised $2,500, a chunk of that had to just go to pay my monthly stuff normally. And so, oops. So if I kept my mouth shut and just said, thanks for all the contributions, it would have been done. But the moment that I opened my mouth and I said, well, every single dollar that was raised went to taxes, that was a lie. Because in truth, I still got to pay bills. I still got to buy groceries. I still got to do my usual shit, right? When I did that marathon, that would have been a day I normally would have worked and raised some money to do those things. So in reality, I'm fessing up later in the day. Well, the truth is not all the tip money went, or not all the money raised went to tips. Immediately, you got caught. You know what I'm saying? You got caught, Phil, in a big lie. You said the money was going all to the taxes, and instead you spent it on other things. It's like, well, you got me. You're right. Because I was dumb, and I bought into it, and I opened my big stupid mouth and said something dumb that was not true. I got goaded into it by my detractors. Once again, time number 1 zillion, where I'm a dummy, and I got fooled again. It's a pattern where they goad me into doing something, I take the bait, and then here we go. I'm a dummy, right? If I just didn't say the exaggeration that every single dollar goes to taxes, no one would have cared. It's only because I opened my mouth that then that happened, right? Okay, we have a significant amount of shout-outs to do, and I don't know why they all have come in right now together, but they did. This is wild. A lot of contributions just came in. So bear with me. We start with a $5 tip from Rick Perez, who thinks that they've been blocked. I have no idea, Rick. I did not block you. If you were here and were able to talk and everything, and now you all of a sudden can't, I don't think anyone would have. I don't think you got blocked. I don't know. But sadly, I can't look into it during a live stream. What you can do is email me, at darksidephil@hotmail.com. Send me your URL to your channel, and I'll have to look into it in the next, 24 hours or so if I can. I'll let you know, okay? And I'm sorry that happened. I have no clue. It certainly wasn't me. Okay. I received a $20 tip from EDW Raptor. Thank you, EDW Raptor, for a $20 tip. So now he did a $20 super chat and then a $20 tip. And with that, yes, it is official, ladies and gentlemen. We have done it again. We have crushed it again. And the funny part is it's happening during my documentary react, right? Where I'm being exposed nightly for being basically an asshole and a disingenuous scumbag. But we did it again. 35 straight freaking streams of hitting the King's Tips goal. Make it rain up in here on DSPReacts. Once again, the coffers have been filled. Once again, you guys support Darkside Phil. The King is here to hang out with you and self-felt himself all night long because I deserved it for the shit I've done. And I appreciate that all of you are here and you are supporting and you like it. Thank you so very much. Really, I don't even know what else to say. You would think that by now, right? It would have been the end. No, it's continuing. And I really, really appreciate that, folks. Make that money rain on the channel. Thank you so very, very, very much. Now, I'm not even done because I received a $27 tip from Bio. In the name of EDW Raptor, you can feel better now. Take a sip of bourbon every pause. I don't think I'm making it through the night. Yeah, you're taking a sip of bourbon every pause. You're dead. You're already dead. I think you just sent me this tip from the grave. Holy shit. Well, thank you so much. $27. That gets us up to $177. But wait, there's more. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I just received a $32 tip. It says, now you must bring back the $18,000 goal. Like I said, if we ever bring it back, it would only be for charity or something super serious. I would never be doing something like that on a normal stream. That's absolutely ridiculous. Thank you there. That is, there's no name. This is an anonymous tipper, but that's the biggest tip of the night. $32. That gets us up to $209 in tips tonight. Wow. Thank you guys so very much. Oh, but wait, we're not done. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I received... Hold on. It's loading. A $1 tip from someone talking about outside drama that has nothing to do with the stream tonight. I'm not going to address that right now, but thank you. I got a $5 tip from EDW Raptor. Another one. So that's 2 tips from EDW Raptor. Thank you, EDW Raptor. And now with that $5 tip, that's going to bring our total to $215. Wow. Thank you, guys. Let's continue, because I just received a $10 tip for the King's Coffers. I'm skimming ahead a bit. I can't stay up late. As a longtime fan, most of your fans already know about WWE Champion stuff, and it's all true, and next to none of us care. Most sports team owners spend their money on dumb things, and people support their teams anyway. Pull all the Hogans you want, brother. Stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you the full, real story about WWE Champions 100%. I've never told it before, and it's happening during this react. I just don't know if we're going to get it to it tonight, because there's so much shit here going on between that. I thought we would have hit it by now already, and we didn't. And I have a little over an hour left to go. So I guess we'll see. It might have to wait till tomorrow, but hopefully not. If we get it to it tonight, it would be amazing. Okay? All right, so thank you so much for that. I received a $1.50 tip. If you're doing what I think you're going to do later in the stream, my respect will increase tenfold. I think this will be a huge weight off your shoulders. Thank you. And EDW Raptor gifted 10 memberships to the community as well. And everyone who just got a gifted membership, enjoy. I really, really hope you enjoy it. All right, I kind of want to keep moving, guys. Let's go. So even though I raised $2,500, in reality, it was probably under $2,000 that I had left over afterwards to put towards the federal taxes.
Phil had lied throughout his marathon streams and the streams afterwards by now stating that over $500 or so went towards his bills and other expenses.
And that's right. And it's all my fault. I misspoke. And it's totally 100% on me for misspeaking like I did. I should have been more upfront. I should have been more transparent. And I wasn't.
This contradiction seemed too great, so I asked Phil about it. Phil responded with a superbly long-winded response. His answer is buried in this line. 2 words in his 357-word response. Quote, I misspoke. Unquote.
Because I explained the whole situation. You keep in mind, June asks me a question about it. I don't even know what he's talking about. I think he sent me a clip. And then I had to watch the clip, and I don't know what else he knows. I don't know if he's watched other clips around it. So basically, I explained the entire situation around it, and then I said, I misspoke, right?
Meaning that he misspoke about all the money going to taxes.
Correct.
What I failed to mention was this was not the only piece of evidence I had reconfirming that all the money from his fundraising would go to taxes.
But again, as I've already said, I can assure all of you that there was no deception whatsoever on my part outside of the fact that the wedding existed. All funds that I raised for taxes and the like are going towards taxes. In the back of my head, see, because here's the thing. I always have things going on in the back of my head that I don't say. And that's my fault. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, everyone knows that even though I'm doing a fundraiser for taxes, I still have to eat this week, right? Like everyone knows that I still have to pay for my car this month. You know, I probably have to put gas in my car this month or this week or whatever. I probably have to pay my mortgage this month. I have to, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is I didn't say that. When I outright say every dollar of the fundraiser is going to taxes and then it doesn't, that's on me. I should have been way more transparent. I should have been honest with the audience. And I'm thinking, oh, it's common sense that everyone would know that. Not everyone is me. Not everyone lives in my shoes and understands my perspective. So I have to be transparent. And I've tried to learn to do that better, you know, since. But June's got me. I told you. He's got me 100%. 100%. It was me basically the entire way saying one thing and then doing another. Red-handed. Not a dollar. Not a single dollar that was supposed to be raised for taxes went towards anything during this wedding or anything. Nothing.
The clear answer is Phil lied. And the
Because, oh, and by the way, because remember how the situation started? Everyone said that all the money raised for the taxes was going towards me going to Connecticut to get married. Not a single dollar raised during that event went to the wedding. All of that was paid for by my parents. 100%. So the lie that I'm telling is, oh, every dollar went to taxes, but actually it went to pay for some regular stuff too. The lie the detractors are telling is, well, he spent all the tax money on the trip to get married. So that's why I'm acting like this. I'm feeling ultra defensive again. Again, the bait set, and I take the bait, and I stupidly fall for it. It's my fault. But I didn't spend any of the money on what they were saying. It was a different lie entirely that was actually taking place. That's a lot more reasonable to explain away, but it's still a lie.
The money raised is unaccountable. What few people knew at the time was Phil had a 10-year plan. In a conversation with his mother, who had bailed him out previously and delayed a potential bankruptcy, Phil was presented with two decisions: file for bankruptcy or develop a 10-year plan. This 10-year plan was meant to phase him out of content creation into a more traditional job.
Okay, so the general explanation makes sense. Let's see where he goes with it, because I don't know if I need to clarify it all. Okay.
It was even clear to his family at this point that his online presence was only causing trouble for him and those surrounding him. Even now, there was an uproar of displeasure where a few mods were rebelling and leaking private chats and other items surrounding Phil due to his recent lies about where the marathon money was going. Phil did not understand the depth.
But they believed that the marathon money went to my wedding, which it didn't. They believed the detractor lie. They weren't upset that I said all the money's going to taxes, and then I said, oh, actually I spent some money on groceries and shit this week. That's not what they were mad about. They bought the detractor lie hook, line, and sinker that I spent money on the wedding when I didn't.
Of this backlash. On the flip side, Phil did not understand goodwill either. On May 9, 2019, Phil tweeted, quote, "Took a day off the entire internet, but hashtag #ProJaredHilarity was at the top of everyone's Twitter feed. Haha, whoops." Unquote. Now that ProJared was growing through his own controversy sparked from his lewd Tumblr and confusing open relationship, Phil jumped in on the anti-ProJared bandwagon.
But the only reason I did is because, look at the tweet below. He had crapped on me many, many years earlier, and I literally never clapped back. I just sat there and I bided my time. And then when his moment came, oops, maybe he shouldn't have said anything, because if he hadn't, I wouldn't have ever said a word. But it's his own fault.
After this resoundingly successful tweet, Phil went on a stream chat and simultaneously downplayed and exaggerated the success of the tweet. By the 11th, Phil was so confident that this tweet was bringing him the goodwill of the internet that he made this.
I don't believe that at all. Let's see what he says. The reason I'm doing this is because in the past couple of days, the internet at large has finally kind of turned an eye to me for the first time in a major way in a long time, in an actual positive light. I do remember this. I'm not kidding you. After I made that tweet, and that tweet actually kind of went viral a bit, we had big content creators were retweeting it and shit and laughing at it. I was getting messaged by people I hadn't heard from in like years. And they were like, Phil, I've heard you've been down on your luck lately, but wow, you really got him, because man, he shat on you for no reason years earlier. That was a good one, and I wish you the best. I was like getting messaged by tons of people. People were laughing with me instead of at me for a change. And I was like, oh, people are actually laughing with me instead of at me for a change? Well, maybe I'll try to take advantage of that. Now that a few more people are checking out my content.
This video is titled DSP Tries It, Debunking 7 Years of Slander.
And it didn't work because no one cared. Seriously, no one gave a shit about this video.
In a nearly 2-hour video, Phil took a cursory glance at some of his controversial moments, like the time he said Minecraft was stupid, dating Panda Lee while she was 18, or explaining the escort drama that had long been proven false. Lacking here was everything else, from his financial woes, his treatment of his audience, his lashing out at other creators through minimizing their achievements or insulting them altogether. Phil's video was completely lackluster. Even a successful video dispelling his controversies will not change the fact that the reason people watch Phil is to laugh at his antics.
Completely right. He's absolutely right. A couple more shout outs here. I got a $2.14 tip from the Poop Thrower. Great night tonight on tips. Hope it continues in the future. Thank you so much. $3 tip from Big Mac. Keep the tip train going. Thank you, Big Mac. And a $1 tip from Bio. I'm drinking, please. I'm at 58, please. Bio, I literally paused to give a shout out for your own tip. You did it yourself. I only paused to shout out the contribution that you just made. So I secretly think you want me to pause more so you can drink more. That's what I think. Anyway, let's continue.
His Saucy Mondays, streams where he goes off camera to stir a pot of Italian sauce, has no inherent value to regular people. But his lies, on the other hand, tend to be captivating.
Marky Mark says, what is my favorite drink? I like White Russians. Oh, I never had a White Russian before. Never had a White Russian.
What drew viewers' attention...
No! Whoa. That's taken completely out of context. Marky Mark says, what's your favorite drink? I like White Russians. And then I answered. I didn't answer, I like White Russians. That's actually bad. June, that one you actually fucked up. That's bet 227.07. That's completely out of context. That's the person tipping said they like White Russians. Then I answered what I liked. So that's awful. That's actually a really bad one. Sorry. I got you once so far in the documentary. So there you go. I had to get him once. I mean, that's blatant getting it wrong.
Now was a reveal stream with a $1,000 goal. Phil promised a big, positive reveal. Users guessed all throughout, none of them hit the mark.
That's what I said. I just said a big, positive reveal. That's all I said. I said it's a big, positive reveal that could possibly help out and influence future streams. That's exactly what I said.
Some even thought that the reveal was a new cat, which Phil denied. Finally, the goal was hit, and the positive reveal came.
I got someone I'd like you to meet. Come on up here. Come on up here, buddy. You want to come up here? You want me to pick you up? Someone who actually is not a new addition to the family. Someone who I'm going to introduce you to today, who has been a part of our lives for quite some time, in fact. All right? And it's funny because with all the stuff that we've had to do, we've had to keep a lot of stuff private. Come on up here. Here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to our pet.
Phil's reveal was his cat Jasper, but users already guessed the reveal was a new cat. Phil's reasoning was they did not guess correctly enough.
So a lot of people, you're right, a lot of people did guess that a cat was the thing. A lot of people say, oh, it's a new cat. It's a new cat. It's not. Jasper actually has been our cat for a while. Wow. What a dirty way to spin it. Oh, well, you said a new cat. Now, he's not a new cat. We had him for a while. Wow, that's great. No, I'm sorry. That's good. Listen, if I'm going to promise you a big surprise and someone guesses it correctly, should I say, well, you guys guessed it. All right, surprise is off. Everyone already knows. Is that fun? Or is it fun to say, nah, you're all wrong. You're all wrong. By the way, here's the surprise because no one knew really what it was, right? So, yeah, I should have just totally just fucking ruined the surprise entirely, right? I mean, but that's amazing. I spun it like that. That is fucking hilarious. I think that's hilarious. Maybe you think that's so bad. I'm an awful person. I think that's hilarious. He's not a new cat. We've had him already. What are you talking about?
On top of this, Phil got another $1,000 donation from a single donor through the miscommunication of there being a second positive reveal. The easiest way to find out how controversial a stream was to find out how many bans occurred that day. And according to this user-made graph, the day Jasper was revealed, there were 451 bans on his stream.
How the fuck would you know that? That's insanely wrong. There's no way. You really think that moderators are sitting here banning people 451 times in a day? The only way that could be true is if someone was spamming the chat with bots, like coming in with a bunch of bots, and then we had to take care of it because no one else could talk. That's it. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's absolutely no fucking way. 451 people, unless it was bots. That's the only way I could see that's correct. On a normal day, look, no. Hold on a second. Now, this is really bullshit. Take a look. I have a cursor. Oh, cool. I could use this. You're telling me that they're saying every single day that I streamed, we banned 100 people No. No, this is absolutely not correct at all. I don't care. He's using some fucking detractor graph, and there's no way to verify this information. There's absolutely no fucking way we were banning 100 people a day from the chat. That's nuts. That's incredible conspiracy horseshit. Sorry, June, on this one, dude. You read a detractor graph and you believed it. There is no fucking way that this is true. I don't buy this graph for a fucking second. That is nonsense, dude.
But this graph relates to Phil's stream only. On September 29, 2019, Phil was seen not on his own channel, but on the Quarterings, a creator who is controversial in his own right, but utilizes it to make a living. This is something long anticipated because Phil sits in the relative safety of his own streams and controls the dialogue. Adding a different prominent creator would mean there would be no place to hide, and some have tried to secure an interview with Phil. But Phil is very careful.
Actually, that's not true at all. No big prominent creators were trying to secure an interview with me. Only my trolls were. Like, my detractors wanted me to go talk to them. It literally was not, a prominent YouTuber who's interested in talking with Darkside Phil wanted to. The Quartering was the first one. He said, I just want to talk with you and have a conversation. Okay, I'll do it. And everyone was like, what? Yeah, because he approached me nicely. He was nice to me in his approach and said, would you like to do it? I said, yes, sure. And we had a nice, cordial interview. Everyone else was like, well, can we talk about this awful thing and this terrible thing about your private life? And can we insult you the whole time? No. So I'm not going to talk to you.
Very selective. He only allows those ignorant of his rich history to reach him. And even then, there can be stipulations in place to block some of the most demanding questions. Like, how much does Phil owe? Where do the thousands of dollars in donations end up? Does he believe himself to be financially responsible? And instead of that, viewers got this.
This is the most popular question.
Okay.
You're right. Where did the load go?
Normally, a like to dislike ratio is the most basic way to see how much viewers agree with any which video. But this time, there is something better. The Quartering softball interview got 90,000 views. These can represent interest in particularly how many care to view it, how many align with the interview. With that in mind, It's a Gundam, a channel that is hardly DSP-centric, covered the interview and broke down how Phil misrepresents himself while going into some of the deeper Phil lore. It's a Gundam's video blew the Quartering's interview out of the water, as not only was it twice as long as expected from an analysis, but it also stands with 1.6 million views.
Because it's drama. Because it's toxic, negative drama versus a positive interview. On YouTube, toxic, negative drama will always far outshine something positive. That's not news. That's just matter of fact. People are shitbags, and people like shitbag content. It's a Gundam does not put out good content. Okay? He doesn't. Sorry. He doesn't. His content is not the same as someone who's trying to do an in-depth, really critical look at someone like June is doing to me right here. It's a Gundam does not do that. He is a derider. He is a toxic person. He insults constantly. He tries to interject himself into other spheres. Like he tried to interject himself into my Side Scrollers interview. It's trash content. That's why it got views, because people wanted to see someone rip me a new asshole. Okay? Quartering didn't. He did. So people went and gave him views. That's like, I mean, that's just silly. He's at well, you see, because he was more critical of Phil, he got more views. No, it's because he was mean to me. People want to see people be mean to me, and then they get views on it. How do you think detractors exist? Right? This is pretty common sense right here.
Even then, It's a Gundam willingly skipped over or just summarized much of the Phil lore only pertinent to the interview. Phil's endless list of controversial moments was in the end helping him. Even if Phil acts dastardly, there is so much information needed to understand how all its controversies tie into one another, that virtually anyone not in the detractor community is indifferent to anything non-viral that Phil does. What's a drop in an already overflowing bucket? What also helps Phil are his worst trolls that allow him to misrepresent and discredit the detractor community as a whole. On Kiwi farms, doxings are a common sight, information spread for the sake of harassment. At one point, these were not so common until one individual showed up on the farms, a user that went by Nigel of UKIP. For what would be the next couple of years, this individual will freely dox those in Phil's vortex. It's hard to say how he was doing it. He could have had insider information and somehow used the donor's PayPal information to craft a dox, or simply just searched for usernames across social media websites until he found commonalities, ultimately leading to the dogs of those within the Phil sphere.
He was an incredible no-life loser who literally had nothing to do all day. No responsibilities in life, so he could just sit there all day searching the internet. It's that simple.
The only other...
Because the thing I know, because a lot of people who were afraid of being doxxed by him, I was like, the only way he can get your information is if you have shit public. And the people who I told that were never doxxed by him because they went and had nothing public and they were fine. It's only people who had a Facebook that was public, a Twitter that was public, another thing, and you have all your information, your real life information there, and that's how they would get doxxed. He literally never got behind the scenes information on anyone. He just had the incredible amount of time to scour the whole internet for everyone's public information.
Other strange instance of doxing was from a difficult to cover story as the relevant threads where this mass dox was held were expunged. And of course, the Wayback Machine excludes Kiwi Farms. All that is left are recollections and videos that serve of evidence of its existence. Quote, here's a pretty good recap of the entire docu-show. But since the thread itself has apparently been nuked, I'll just add some context and missing details for anyone who wasn't around back then. It was known as the January Harvest of 2018.
I had no idea it was some big event. I just knew that all this shit was going on at one point.
Started because BSV got into a tangle with the nasty on here. Apparently got stupid ugly, families threatened, etc. The KF dog sluts issued an ultimatum to DSP. Admit publicly to your tardians that your main pay whale, BSV, has been saying doing some stupid shit. Which, yes, at the time, are where going to drop a super dox at a rate of 1 per day on your The King of Hate farm dwelling redacted.
Oh yeah, so I guess he was a supporter of mine, a Brightside Viking or something, I think his name was, and he actually became a moderator. They literally said, you better, like it was extortion. So you better say all this stuff about what this guy says and does in private. If you don't, we're going to dox one person a day. I don't respond to threats very well. At all. For the record. So I said, fuck you. Do what you need to do. You can go fuck yourself. And then they went and did whatever they did. And I literally paid no attention to it. At all. I didn't care. I don't want anything to do with it. Go do it. If you want to commit crimes, if you want to fuck around, go for it. But I'm going to have nothing to do with it. I'm not going to respond to extortion and blackmail. Fuck off.
This will begin on X date and continue until you have done this one simple and justified and true thing. Basically just disavow BSV's behavior. Lol, unironic Freedom Forum members and Kiwis with trolling accounts over there alike and become tremble with fear. No one is safe, lol. Philip Piss.
Listen to how this guy types. Could you just type in English instead of your little fucking troll speak? It makes you look like a fucking antisocial loser. Oh, excuse me. It doesn't make you look like that. You are one. That's why you're typing.
Baby
like
fuck you Burnell responds by shoving his head in the quicksand. Turbo doxing commences. After like 3 days of this Waco standoff, his terrified forum users go from screaming at Phil to do something to stop this and to a 5-alarm dumpster fire. Standoff continues until Phil's revenue begins tanking a bit. He's now forced to address this matter on air.
Yeah, I said it was happening, and I said, fuck you, I'm not doing anything about it.
Nothing. Says nothing he was told to admit. Advises his audience that anything the bad doxing men have done to them is their fault. Not his, because they're stupid and they use his forum.
No, I said, if you are using public social media and you're putting your information out there publicly, people are going to find it and hurt you. You have to be incredibly careful. I didn't say, because you're on my forum, it's your fault that you're getting doxxed. That's not true. But of course, this moron spins it like that.
Lol fair. And have personal shit in their online profiles that anyone can see.
You can't put personal shit in your online profile that anyone can see. People will use that against you. You have to have an online persona that's detached from your real life person. It's that simple. The internet ain't a safe place anymore. It's really not.
Which would have been his one valid argument in all this if it hadn't been tendered in his signature blame-shifting desperation.
No, this is your spin on it because you're a fucking loser. You're a fucking antisocial loser and you hate me, so you say that. No, I didn't say put it and spin it with anything else. That's exactly what I said. Don't put your private information to the public because they will use it to hurt you.
And also contradiction by some other horseshit he said 30 seconds later. The victims of these cyberbullies shoulder all the blame in this, and everyone is stupid because you should just know that any internet presence...
Yes, of course, that's exactly word for word how I put it. Sure.
Puts you at risk of, well, everything. NMF and ICD. Dox Harvest continues. Despite having zero leverage, Fatboy gives the infamous 19-hour olive branch speech as a counteroffer to everyone who doesn't dick ride him on the internet. Peaceful coexistence? Okay. No more talking shit from either side? Sound good?
That's right. What I said was, listen, we just won't talk shit about each other anymore. You ignore me, I ignore you. You know, of course, that's not what they wanted.
9 seconds later, he resumes talking shit about dirt detractors. No negotiating with terrorists, though. Harvest continues. Harvest got tedious as it quickly became obvious that most of the people that orbit him are boring turbospeds.
Wrong. The harvest got tedious because everyone listened to me and ignored it. Because the best way to defeat a troll is to ignore their existence. Once you ignore them and they're getting no attention for what they're doing, they realize no one cares about them and it's just a waste of their time, and then they move on. That's exactly what happened. My strategy worked. Ignore the nonsense, ignore the morons, and they will disappear on their own. And that's exactly what happened.
Minor wheelchair exodus. Harvest ends. Phil advises the internet that this constitutes a hard W for him.
Because it was. Because it was.
Oh, to see the world through the blurry gin goggles.
No, there's no goggles. I won. I didn't negotiate with someone who was trying to extort me. They went away. I won. You lose. It's simple math.
Of his squinty dead eyes. Phil resumes pushing buttons. Unquote. That was a quick rundown of what was called the January Harvest. The user also linked to a longer rundown of 3 videos. The overall runtime of those videos are 4.5 hours. As a reminder, these videos are considered the insignificant parts of Phil's history. The larger portions have longer running history and tie themselves well together. Like at the start of 2020, there were 2 things around Phil being discussed. A bankruptcy, which had its own honorary sign displayed at a WWE pay-per-view event, which is also attached to the theory around a mobile game known as WWE Champions. The bankruptcy is far more forward and clear, and has been a long time coming, with Phil discussing his want to file for bankruptcy through 2019. Yep. Only now, in January 2020, was the process underway.
Well, basically, eventually. Okay, let me see, because these are the 2 segments. This one is not long. Wow, he didn't go too far into it, huh? All right, so this is only like 3 minutes, and then he goes for about 10, 15 minutes on WWE Champions. All right. I haven't done this yet. I have to use the bathroom, guys. I know, like, I haven't had to take a break for a bathroom break during this whole thing the last few days. I gotta pee really bad. So I figure, let me pee, and then we will tackle this for the next hour. Fair enough? I will literally be right back. I tried to be as fast as possible. Since we're getting into the meat, let's do shout-outs. Food shops with the $2 super chat. How do people hate you? There's nothing that bad. That's a subjective question. You shouldn't ask me that. You should ask the people who actually hate me, and you probably won't get a sane answer. But thank you, food shops. Few tips, and then we're going to get started with this, which is what you guys want, right? Okay. I received a $2.04 tip from the poop thrower. Would you box EDP for 15K or Wings or Boogie? No, I'm not boxing anyone. That's stupid. That's for losers. I received a $5 tip. As we get closer to the end, we talked about getting June for an interview. We're doing an interview next week. I just haven't talked to him yet about the date, but we're doing an interview next week. So thank you, SOF916. I received a $1 tip from Bio. He says we're at 67 pauses and he's dying of alcohol poisoning. And then we got a $1 tip from Bio saying now we're at 76 pauses. Okay. So it was 5, 6, 7, that was $9. Okay. I'm trying to get through these shout outs so we can get to the part you guys want. I'm trying to hurry through these so we can get to the part you guys have been waiting for all night long. Okay. Wait, that was $9, right? So that should be $241, I believe. Okay. All right. So I got to prepare myself. I got my tissues here to daub my brow as I sweat this one out as we get into the meat that everyone's wanted for the whole documentary. Are you ready? Here we go. I sat down and I saw a lawyer and talked to the lawyer, and the lawyer said, you know, with your situation, you know, there's really no way out besides declaring bankruptcy. Like, there's no way. How are you going to get out of not only owing all this debt that you have behind the scenes through credit cards and loans, but now you've got a whole... Thank you, Hot Stuff Chris, for the sub. Oh, wait, that was from, like, 2010 or 2020. That was from Twitch. Sorry about that. Home that you can't pay for, and they're going to foreclose on you. Chances are they're going to sue you.
The bankruptcy forms made it into the hands of the detractors. In these dense, lengthy legal forms were revelations that finally, among many other things, put a number on Phil's total debt.
Now, here's the thing. Like he says, they made it to the hands of the detractors. Yeah, because bankruptcies are public filings. There's no way to hide it. Anyone that declares bankruptcy, it's a public filing, and everyone's going to see the information, and I knew that. I talked to the lawyer about it, and we got to be careful about this because people are going to be having scrutiny all over this, right?
The unsecured creditors on page 20 list all of Phil's unsecured claims, so items that had no collateral such as personal loans and credit cards. The page 1 of 7 on the bottom right corner was already hinting at the sheer amount of debt Phil had incurred. The only thing more impactful will be going through all the individual accounts. And so, number 1, $1,100 to an American Express card. Number 2, $6,400 on a different American Express card. Number 3, $26,000 to Bank of America.
Yep.
Number 4, $2,700 to BMW of North America. Number 5, $10,700 to a Capital One credit card. Number 6, $14,100 to a Chase credit card. Number 7, $8,500 to a Citibank credit card. Number 8, $13,800 to a different Citibank credit card. Number 9, $15,600 to Citibank. Number 10, $10,000 to a Discover credit card. Number 11, $9,300 to Lenny Club Corporation. Number 12, $4,300 to Prosper Marketplace. Number 13, $3,800 to Sam's. And finally, number 14, $4,700 to US Bank.
I don't even remember the last one. I actually don't even remember that last one. I don't even know what card that was. Oh, okay. Punch number 1. Evander Holyfield just gave me a gut check. Okay, let's continue.
This comes to a grand total of $131,550.28. The secured loans with collateral, include his car and Washington condo, which was now his only condo. To add to this, on page 19, readers could see Phil still owed over $100,000 on his Connecticut condo, in which he originally purchased for $131,000. This means he was paying the minimum, or if he really wanted to, he could have paid the entire thing off and lived there within just a few years of purchasing it. Instead, he is now here, 11 years later, owing the IRS $15,000, having virtually no credit, being stripped of what little he accrued and being returned back to nothing.
I had absolutely zero, a complete negative, zero value. Even with me owning this place here, I, still, owed the mortgage and everything. I had zero value in anything. I had nothing to my name whatsoever.
Was it worth enduring a decade of trolls, daily streams, managing lies, and being hated in the only community you know? The answer is yes, because Phil has something almost no one else has.
Level 13 WWE Superstar. Look at this. He made a ring and everything. All right, now this is cool. He made an animated ring for this. This is neat. It's WWE Champions time, brother. Yeah! Come on! Drop the leg, yeah! Come on. That's amazing that he put that in there like
Phil's
that.
plights were all worth it because of this Candy Crush gotcha-designed phone game themed around the WWE, known as WWE Champions. It is important to note that Phil has refuted investing into this game to the extent people have claimed. Despite a mountain of very strong evidence, he has room to dismiss it because there is no smoking gun. Phil has a history of playing other mobile games themed around the WWE, and was not shy to spend money on microtransactions to get an advantage. However, on WWE Champions, there is an account that has seen some tremendous climbing in the leaderboards that would be impossible without microtransactions. This account's name was They Call Me DSP. Phil's Twitter handle is also They Call Me DSP.
Okay, so I'm gonna let this play out. I'm gonna see all the stuff he has to say. I'm gonna play the whole segment. I want to hear it all. I'm not gonna react. You might see me nodding or whatever, reacting. I'm just gonna let it play. And when the segment is done, I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to say what I have to say, okay?
Phil has a history of using that username in other apps like Pokemon Go, and Phil in the past has admitted to playing.
WWE Champions is a game that plays a lot like Candy Crush, of all games, or what's the other one, Bejeweled? It plays like those two games with wrestlers, and honestly, the game cheats and is not very good, but I just play it because it has wrestlers in it.
What detractors seek to prove is that the account They Call Me DSP is indeed Darkside Phil. If they can attach this account to Phil, then that alone proves that Phil spent tens of thousands of dollars on this game. This is where TJ Gamebox comes in, a person that plays the same mobile game. He was dragged into this mess through unscrupulous threats.
We're playing WWE Champions, and we're part of a guild called Xena. And the guild unfortunately was joined by a person that was named They Call Me DSP. The second that he was in my guild, a lot of people in my guild were threatened to be doxxed by detractors for having him in the guild because they didn't want us to go ahead and give him any prominence in the game.
It was clear that detractors were keeping tabs on the They Call Me DSP account, and they were following this account through various guilds, threatening guild members in-game. Other guilds, like TJ's guild, would adhere to the detractor demands and remove They Call Me DSP. It is also important to note that besides Phil claiming that he does not own the account, attempts have been made to reach out to the They Call Me DSP account to see if the owner could somehow prove that they were not DSP. The owner was not cooperative, which gives more fuel to the theory. As for TJ, having some prior knowledge of Phil became interested in this investigation.
So I went further into it. I decided to keep track of money, keep track of tabs, keep track of when he's online. When I would find that he was online whenever DSP was offline. And whenever he was online streaming, that account was offline.
The thing is, with higher spenders or those more invested in games, guilds, clans, whatever it may be, drift off their game and use third-party software to communicate with one another. This, in most cases, is Discord, but in other cases it can be apps like WhatsApp, which is primarily used for communication. There is also the Line app, which serves a similar function. And as it so happens, one of the guilds They Call Me DSP joined was using the Line app.
When I noticed he joined one of the guilds, there was a part where he could be part of the Line app. It says Line app was used for communication. So I did a little bit of digging and found that if you connected his phone number, because this phone number is public, onto the Line app, it popped up with They Call Me DSP.
This is a strong form of verification. You type in your number, then the app sends a message with a code to that number. This is rather straightforward because though numbers can be duped with outgoing messages, messaging the number back will result in reaching the actual number and not any spoofed one. Forgetting about the need of phone verification, Phil initially dismissed it as a troll with creating a Line account under They Call Me DSP.
Sounds like someone made an account in my name to try to fucking screw me over, just like Discords and everything else that's happened this year. I know nothing about it, but it sounds like you're a conspiracy theorist, doesn't it?
A viewer then informs Phil that his number is tied to the Line app account, to where Phil changes his tune.
Really big boy, you have to enter a code from an SMS message when you download the app. The troll has access to your text messaging. I'd contact the authorities if I were you. Oh my god. Oh! I'm just, seriously, like there's no way to dupe one of these app companies into thinking that you are using a phone number that you're not, right? Or there's no possible way that in the 6 years since my cell phone's been doxxed that I changed my number, right? No way possible that I would have possibly done that, right?
Phil claims two things. Firstly, that it may be possible to fool a company through a spoof number, which it is not. The second is Phil introducing the potential that he changed his number during this time, which was countered by someone calling Phil's number and getting this.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Phil Burnell.
Not only that, when ranting about John Rambo, he slips up.
I have nothing to make amends for with Rambo. I never mistreated the guy. The guy was always told me that he was happy when we were doing work together and everything. He's the one who cut off contact with me and lied to me saying everything was all right, but then stopped talking to me and then made a negative video about me later. He would have to reach out to me. I am the one who still has the same phone number. Felted, exposed, felted, humbled. That's right, it's him. It's the guy. It's him all along. There he is. Owned. Fucking owned. Yes. All right, let's continue. I'm not going to say a word. I had to react to that, but let's continue. I'm the one who, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the guy who's still easily reachable.
What this proves is Phil has a line account, and also another item to stack on the massive pile of Phil's lies. But again, Phil could run with the narrative that just because he has a line account that is also under the Call Me DSP, that doesn't prove that he plays WWE champions. And so the investigation continues and lands on a different third party, Discord.
So I have sources of him joining and being kicked out of my guild. I have sources of him being in another WWE Champions Discord and me talking to him.
This is significantly more promising than the Line app, because unlike the Line app, They Call Me DSP's Discord is clearly seen interacting with TJ's guild. And while anyone could choose whatever name they please on Discord, all accounts had to have a unique code attached to them. And thanks to a bot archiving the people that left the Discord, that not only shows the name, but also unique Discord ID, which is 4058.
You know, if only I was tech savvy. If only I were tech savvy, maybe I would have got away with it. All right, let's continue.
At the time, Phil also had a secret mod Discord, and a rogue mod just happened to leak Phil's unique Discord ID, which was also 4058. Though the numbers are clear, what Phil now relies on is trying to state that the evidence itself is illegitimate. Somehow, one way or another, some image is altered, and of course, they never used Discord for those purposes.
The only time I ever used Discord was to chat with people back when I had a partnership with Twitch and stuff like that. I had a contact who I chatted to in Discord. But outside of that, I've never used it for anything else. I don't even know what Line app is. I guess it's just chat. I don't know. Maybe it does do those other things. I have no idea.
At this point, one can reasonably deduce that They Call Me DSP is Phil. Though Phil claims what should be definitive evidence is false, and relies on his minuscule credibility to sway his audience.
You know, if it weren't for those pesky kids and that really annoying dog, I could have just left the mask on and I could have been the freaking bog monster, right? But no. You had to actually use technology to thwart the evil king. How dare you? How dare you? Let's continue.
And so the investigation continues to find something more definitive that Phil cannot excuse as false. This is where the bankruptcy documents come into play. His expenses are most pertinent. On page 32 of his bankruptcy petition, these personal expenses are itemized between him and his wife. His monthly expenses...
Hold on, how long? Oh, we're halfway through? Because I'm trying to see how long the segment is. Because remember, I'm going to let the whole segment play.
Come around to $5,100. His mortgage and tax payment plan make up for nearly half of his personal expenses. There's nothing eyebrow-raising here. But then you look on Form 122A, the monthly business income and expenses. Here you find something entirely different. On page 4, it shows what Phil's income for the months of July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2019 were. He never made under $8,000, and in just these 6 months made a total of $55,000. But did he really? In this form, he listed his business expenses, which are separate from personal expenses. Expenses meant to only be related to his content creation job. These expenses are $9,000 for the month of July, $5,400 for August, $3,100 for September, $4,400 for October, $4,300 for November, and $4,900 for December. In July alone, he claims to have lost $867 from his streaming job somehow. And because these do not have to be itemized, as the only purpose of this form is to make sure you're not making enough money to reasonably pay off your debts, means Phil does not have to explain how a job, with virtually no overhead, where at most his expenses should be limited to purchasing games, is costing him thousands of dollars a month. What's more, on his bankruptcy petition on page 14 of 50, he claims to only have $1,500 in business assets. So as the courts would see it, these expenses would have to go into services. It is understood that Phil doesn't pay his mods. On the contrary, his mods pay him. He asks viewers to pay for his games. He doesn't use any services for his business that would charge those thousands of dollars. And so this leaves many to believe this is how Phil hides his WWE Champions transactions, labeling them as business expenses. Which, if Phil can play to the government's ignorance of his content creation job so long as they see it as profitable, then perhaps Phil can also do this on his taxes. And so, what does Phil have in response to these official documents? When I asked him, quote, do you believe it's incorrect/possible that you spent solely that much on your business for those months?
Now keep in mind, I'm going to tell you everything, so, okay? I'm going to tell you everything, so, well, I don't even remember what I said, but it's probably not my response for tonight, right? But here we go.
He responded with, it's not just possible, it's true. That's what my attorney submitted, and that's what was reviewed and approved in the bankruptcy case. But specifics I can never talk about because 1, I didn't do those calculations. The attorney did, so I honestly have no idea what they actually include. And number 2, I wouldn't publicly talk about any expenses, personal or business-wise regardless. It's literally nobody's business besides the bankruptcy court. Unquote. Phil refused to itemize his expenses, citing both his ignorance of them and the privacy around them. There are also clear discrepancies on the filings. On page 12 of 50 in the bankruptcy petition, the box is checked that he doesn't own any non-farm animals, but he owns his cat, Jasper. There is also speculation on the valuation of his Washington condo, as on page 1150, it states it is valued at $379,000 according to Zillow. These smaller items made people ever more speculative of Phil and the WWE account that vanished. They Call Me DSP disappeared from the game, but there was an account that had similar stats.
They Call Me DSP, to the Gun Show 87, to now Down from the Rafters, which, by the way, you cannot use the name Down from the Rafters in WWE Champions because the name is too big to use. So that means it was changed by a bot. It was changed by Scrollbly.
Down the Rafters was the last name change. As the account stated, this will be the last time they would try to change their name, as it was clear that they could not hide from the trolls that follow them, thinking that they are, quote, some idiot video game streamer that they hate, unquote. By 2020, Phil was adamant that he had quit all mobile games. Not even just recently, but all the way back in 2018.
In 2018, I quit all mobile games. I don't play them anymore. I got rid of them. I said, I'd rather focus time on important stuff with my family and stuff. I don't waste time. They're all, I keep telling you guys this. Mobile games are money sinks. You'll put money into it, you put time into it and money into it, and you don't get anything really out of it unless you're constantly keep playing and sinking more money into it. That's the truth of the matter. I quit all those mobile games because they were just pay to win. It got to the point where they're really fun to play at first, and then you realize you can't actually progress unless you drop money to get all the new cards.
Far more.
I'm not surprised this is like the longest segment or close to it. Okay.
More captivating at the time was the ongoing bankruptcy proceedings.
Okay, the next matter is Philip Burnell.
This is Rochelle Sheffield for the debtor, and Philip Burnell is with me.
He's in your office with you?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Burnell, you there?
I am present.
Yeah.
That audio was from a 341 meeting. In this meeting, the debtor, Phil Burnell, is accompanied by his trustee. A basic rundown of this meeting is to catch discrepancies within the bankruptcy filings. Creditors are expected to, but often don't attend. This call took place during COVID. Many facilities were closed, and the online space was looked upon as the temporary replacement, a place where Phil's trolls lived.
Nancy?
Yes?
Sorry, there's 60 people on the line for this call, so I think that's the problem.
Okay.
A reason so many were invested in this call, some even live streaming it, was to see if Phil's inexplicable business expenses would be questioned.
What is WWE Network?
WWE
Oh,
Network.
WWE Network. That is just an on-demand video service for watching, professional wrestling. That is not business related.
Many, with the opening of that question, thought that was the moment Phil was caught. But it was just the service that was being asked about.
You've provided me a copy of your PayPal account for 1 month. I would like to see the last 6 months of both of your PayPal statements.
Oh no, it's gonna happen.
This also turned out to be a false positive. But again, hopes were up when Phil was asked to explain his business expenses.
What do you consider a business expense?
Anything relating, to the business per the instruction of my tax attorney. So it could be, the cost of a video game, the cost of a subscription for a video game, a microtransaction within a video game, the cost of a piece of new equipment, maintenance on set equipment every month. It could be the internet, cost of internet every month. It could be cost of, utilities necessary for the business, cost of cell phone for the business.
This was dismissed rather easily, likely through the ignorance of the attendees. But if anything, it did prove that Phil knew how his business expenses were calculated, making people more curious about what they could be now that he couldn't dismiss the expenses as being ignorant of them. And then the meeting was turned to the quote-unquote creditors.
Okay, I have no further questions. Are there creditors on the line?
There were no real creditors on the line, for the record. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, are you a creditor?
There was only one person willing to confront Phil. It was a troll concealed as a creditor from Citibank who had one burning question.
Reviewing your filing, it looks like you stated here that you have about $5,000 a month in business expenses. Can you itemize that for me?
Hold on. Legit. Wait, I don't need these.
What followed was a few seconds of silence. Phil was likely in conversation with his trustee and came back with this.
Nancy, I'm not sure this person is for Citibank.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
While the troll continued to masquerade as a representative of Citibank, through his persistence that Phil was attempting to distract from the question, there was issue with his question. With the meeting looking at the Schedule J form, the questions were pertaining to Phil's personal expenses. This is a personal bankruptcy. His business was only glanced over, with the attendees satisfied with Phil's as a solid, esoteric explanations. And so they referred him to his personal expenses, which were already broken down. Not too long after the meeting ended, with just one more outburst from a troll.
Why am I poisoned? Why am I toxic?
Yeah, his head exploded. His head exploded. That's great.
This meeting, in terms of wanting to expose Phil, was a failure. Phil's bankruptcy case was closed, and he surrendered his Connecticut condo and remained streaming.
Is this the end of the segment? Let's see.
So it did show there was an additional consequence of Phil's long-standing internet presence and infamy. The children that may have watched him in 2010 and grew to hate him over time have aged and become adults who are more proficient in all things, like trolling and archiving. Archiving, like creating...
Oh, so is that it? Or is he going on to the next segment? Oh no, Vestreak is next, so let's keep going. He's not done yet.
Graphs meant to keep track of Phil's expenses. This, compared to future archiving methods, made these appear rudimentary. Even so, the visualization of this data makes it clear-cut that Phil's earnings are on the rise. It was long thought that his channel would fade out, but year after year it's been persistent. This is where a different archiving tool helps. PigPigGo is a website that scours Phil's massive catalog.
Oh, so are we in the Vestreak now? They're going to start talking about what I made during the Vestreak, I think. I think that's what we're at now. I think so. I think that's it. All right.
Catalog of tens of thousands of videos. The way it works is you put in a phrase. This searches Phil's YouTube transcripts and lists them in order by date. You can also search within a specific date and visualize the usage of a word through the trend option. And if we type in vest with a space on both sides...
Okay, vest. All right. He's on to the Vestreak. So now we're done with that. So now it's time for me to respond to the entire thing, okay? And this will be the end of tonight, actually. I think this will be good to end the stream tonight. And then we'll continue with the Vestreak tomorrow to finish it, okay? So, here, let's go back. I want to go back to the ring. The ring was epic that he started with. What the hell? I can't... Oh, come on. Come to video. Oh, there we go. All right. We'll do it from... Oh. Well, I was going to do... Should I do it from here or should I do full screen? All right. So here's the deal. I'll just do a full screen. Fuck this, okay? All right. So here's the thing. I'm about to tell you the actual truth. However, there's still people who aren't going to believe it. There's still people who will never be satisfied no matter what I tell you. All right? They're going to say I lied. They're going to say this is bullshit, right? And so this is only for those who actually are capable of like rational thought and considering the truth and things like that, okay? All right. You already know I have a history of spending money on mobile games. I've already admitted it, okay? Everything that I said in that segment on stream was a lie. Literally, every time someone asked me about WWE champions, I lied. Every single fucking time. Because to me, my personal spending, things I was doing off stream, was no one's business, okay? And every time someone brought it up, I'm like, this is so stupid. This is dumb. You know what I'm saying? And I just lied to get it out of the way. And I tried so hard for so long to lie about it, to get people to just forget about it. But I forgot, well, not really forgot, but I definitely underestimated the anal nature of these people who stalk me, all right? A couple things they outright got me on, like, for example, the Discord thing. I had no idea about any of that. I was incredibly ignorant, okay, of all of it. I didn't know any of that shit. So I had no clue that they could, like, track a Discord versus, like, numbers on your name and shit like that. So, you know, for me, here's the thing. You really, if you're a person who's coming to my stream and you just want to watch the content and have fun, do you want to hear about this shit? My fans did not care about me playing WWE champions. My fans did not care about any of that shit, all right? When I was doing a fundraiser for a week to pay taxes, yeah, that's literally what it was. Yeah, there was some misspeaking and things over time about exactly directly where the money was going, but it was because I was kind of desperate for that week, you know? But the WWE champions thing, 100%, again, I just always lied about it because I thought it wasn't important. It was just something that my detractors were trying to do. Because again, they tried to get me time and time again over the years, so many times for stupid shit that wasn't true. They had finally found one stupid little thing that they got me on, right? So I'm going to tell you this the truth now. But again, many of you are not going to believe it. I can't make you believe it. And I'm gonna open up for the first time about this topic ever right now here tonight. And some of you, if this is it for you and you can't take it and you want to leave and you're not gonna come back, I can't stop you. All right, I can't. But for those who've been here through this journey with me, by 16 years as a content creator, this crazy month I just had of resurgence, you know, I would hope that the things that people have been saying to me are true. That you don't care about my past and the shit that I was doing, you know, that was stupid and bad. Because I admit it was stupid and bad, okay? All right, so, are you ready? Admission number 1. Yes, the They Call Me DSP account in WWE Champions is my account, okay? That's admission number 1. It is. It always was, okay? Now, it was very stupid of me to name it They Call Me DSP. You might say, why was he so dumb to name that account that? Because when I opened it in 2017, when the game launched, I didn't think anyone was going to ever give a fuck about my mobile game spending. I had already played games such as Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, Supercard, WWE Supercard, and others as well. And like for me, it was like, who cares? Like, who would ever give a shit? I had already publicly posted and talked about playing those games, spending money on them and shit, right? So I never in my wildest dreams thought that it would ever blow up in the way that it did, okay? Fair enough. So what ended up happening was the game came out, 2017? And I barely played it that hardcore, like the first year or so, I would say. It wasn't until the second year where the game actually got, like, redesigned to be more serious of a game. And so then it kind of warranted more time, more spending, etc. Well, I played it for what? It came out in 2017. So I would say I played it for like 2.5 years. And I think about year 1 or 2, like a year in, 2 years in, it got, you know, to the point where everyone wanted to form guilds and factions because big events were being based in the game around that. So that's when I joined my first faction. And I was, playing along with the faction. At the time, I was low. I wasn't, I didn't have a good account or anything. They were teaching me along the way on how to play the game and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And basically, I don't remember. The time frame is going to be completely wrong in my head. I can't tell you times of anything because I don't know, because I never tracked it. Eventually, after being with this group for a while, I became one of the leaders of the faction. Okay? So, and then I was with them probably a year more. Okay? And so, of course, there's going to be there was Discord, chats and things like that. There never was an issue with any of this. Never. And then all of a sudden, somehow, someone had discovered that there was a WWE champion's name of my name. And I guess what it is someone who had played the game, knew how the accounts worked or whatever, and they did money. And they said, he spent thousands of dollars on the game, right? Based on some calculation that they had made. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what it is because I don't watch my detractors shit. Okay? And I'm not here to tell you I didn't spend money on the game. I absolutely have spent money on WWE champions. Okay? A good amount of money on WWE champions over the years. I'm here to fess on this, right? This is the big moment, correct? What ended up happening was, basically, my detractors, seeing that there was this name that said they call me DSP and had spent money in the game, went on this insane stalker spree, basically trying to get me banned from the game. All right. What they found is that obviously the makers of the game don't care that I have haters online. They don't give two fucks. So the attempt to get to the company and shit, no one cared, right? So what they ended up doing is they started actually sending in clandestine people into the servers, the Discord chat of the clan that I was in, the faction I was in, to join and then start tracking conversations, trying to get all this information. Eventually what happened was, I guess, a detractor literally made shit up. They had made a fake Discord conversation between me and the actual guy who had founded this faction I was in, that it was some weird, I can't even remember what it was, but basically it was a fake conversation between me and this person saying that he had agreed to do all kinds of favors and shit if I kept spending money on the game. It was a weird conversation, right? But basically, they doxed the guy. They put it on Kiwi Farm. All right? So because the guy had gotten doxed, now it had escalated. It's not just, they're trying to talk to the company to get my account, kicked. They're not just having trolls join the server. They had doxed the leader of the faction I was in. And he confronted me about it. I'm like, dude, I have nothing to do with this. It's messed up that it happened. I'm really sorry, but obviously I can't control these people for what they're doing or whatever. And all along, I'm denying to the faction that I'm this streamer. I'm like, no, I'm not that streamer. That's not me. Okay? Well, what ended up happening was, even though I had been in that faction for 1-2 years, I don't remember the time frame again. I don't have that data. They kicked me from the faction. Okay? They outright just kicked me from the faction and said, fuck you, get out. Okay? So, after kicking me from the faction, now I'd already invested 2 years into the game. And I didn't want all that time investment and money investment to go to waste. So I went around looking for other factions. And that's when you could see this TJ Gamebox or whatever, who says that I joined his faction, right? And then all of a sudden, my trolls were following me around from faction to faction, joining the faction as well, just to track, information, to see how much money was being spent, to basically dox the other people in the faction, okay? So I probably joined and got kicked out of 2-3 different factions as a result of this, okay? Now, basically, after all that happening, I was fed up. And I was like, I wonder, is there a way around this? Is there a way that I could just protect my identity in the game? Well, the game doesn't let you change your name, all right? So I did actually, at one point, I reached out to the people who ran the game, and I said, is there a way we could change my name so that no one would know that I'm this person? And then they stop harassing everyone around me? Because listen, I want to keep playing your game. I've invested time and money into it, but I can't. Everywhere I go, these people are harassing and doxing everywhere I'm involved in. So the company, who owns the game, who makes the game, said, yeah, we can see if we can change your name or whatever. Okay? So I can't remember the exact specifics of how it all went down. All right. But to make a long story short, they are so dumb. All right. I explained to them, the timing of everything. Like, here's how you do it. What I will do is I will quit a faction that I'm in. All right. You change my name when I'm out of a faction. Now there's no way to track me because no one knows where I am. Then I could join a new faction. Okay. Great. They idiotically changed my name before the time we had agreed to. So everyone saw the name change. I was still in the faction. People were still tracking the account and they saw the name change. They fucked it up. All right. So at this point now, it's like, there's no way at all that I'm going to be able to play this game because everywhere I go and everything I do, these people are going to be tracking it or whatever. So after a series of months kind of laying low, I think like a month or two, I didn't even have a faction. And then I tried to join a couple other factions and they kept following me around these factions to harass and troll and shit like that. Eventually I just gave up. And I said, I'm never going to be able to play this game ever again. But I've got a lot of shit invested in this game, okay? Now, I'm going to leave it at that for now. We're going to go back to there, all right? Some of the things that my detractors have said over the years are outright lies. For example, that whole story about the Line app, okay? That's false. Once I did register for Line app, okay? It had nothing to do with WWE Champions at all, all right? It actually had to do with, and why would I lie, right? Right now, I'm literally already telling you this. So why would I lie about this part, okay? I never used Line app to play WWE Champions. The Line app account was because I had a potential sponsorship opportunity lined up. And basically, I found out basically when I started to research it, it was a scam. It was like a scam company who was going to fuck me basically somehow. But they wanted to communicate via Line app. Now, I actually don't know if like it was a detractor or something. I have no clue. All right. But yeah, it was fucked. It was like really fucked. And basically the Line app thing's bullshit. Okay. The Line app thing's complete bullshit. On top of that, a lot of the shit that was said about WWE Champions was outright lies. Okay. So for example, my detractors would go out and be like, Phil spent $2,000, $3,000 in a weekend or whatever on WWE Champions. It's completely wrong. They have no idea what they're talking about. Either they don't know how the game works or they're purposefully overinflating numbers. There were weekends, this is back then, we're talking years ago, where I spent a couple $100 in a weekend on the game. Admit that. They would say I spent $1,200. Where are you getting that information from, right? Again, they could be grossly exaggerating on purpose because they know there's no real way to verify this. If I say something, I'm publicly exposing myself, right? So it's bullshit. Every time they say that, oh, he spent this on the game, he spent that on the game, it's always wrong. In fact, what I can tell you is that in regards to the game, there are always ways to like score points in an event that's not spending. And a lot of the times what it is, it's based on previous spending. So let's say last month you spent some money and you got one of the good characters, the new character, you could use them in the next month, right? To score in that event. But they're saying, oh, the only way that we know how much he spent is because it's based on like coin pulls. So he must have pulled this many coins or this many loot pulls to get this many points in the event. That's not how the game works. But they claim it is. But that's not how the game works at all. So they grossly have always over-exaggerated the spending that I've done in the game. Okay? Now, here's the part. Up to now, all right, all of this kind of makes sense, right? Because it's kind of what my detractors have always said, all right? Now I'm going to tell you the part of the story absolutely nobody fucking knows whatsoever, all right? As of today, I don't have any control or ownership of that account anymore, all right? I sold it. At the times when I was like desperate for money and shit was going down, I sold the account, all right? And you might say, well, how is that possible, right? Well, you may not think it's possible because technically you shouldn't be able to sell an account, but I actually just alluded to this on a stream the other day, and I was wondering if anyone was going to pick up on this, but no one seems to have picked up on it, okay? So the reason I knew you could sell an account was because when I was really, on the original account, before I'd even changed my name, all right, there was another group in the game and they were called like the Haven, all right? And they were one of the top factions in the game. And one of the leaders of the Haven was retiring from the game after like 2-3 years of playing it. And they announced this publicly, you know, we're retiring or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So basically he retires. He publicly announces he's retiring, yet his account is still active. It's still being used in events. People are fighting against this account in events. Like, wait a minute, the guy retired. He made a big public thing about it. So how the hell is his account still working? So people knew that basically you could basically sell your account. Of course, there's no outright way to do it. So basically what I did, I reached out and I found that there was a market for this. There's third-party resellers. And what you do is you can give them certain criteria and information about the game, login accounts and things that would give them ownership of the account. And you could give that to them for money. And I sold it. All right? That was a few years ago. So I have not had any control over this account for years. That was the single worst thing I could have done. Because what I should have done, I should have just closed the account. Because if I just closed the account, even though people would have accused me of this for years and years, endlessly moving forward, all right, it would have kind of went away, right? But instead, I was like, man, I put so much time and money into this, right? I don't want to, I want to get something out of it, and I sold it like an idiot. And I hate that I did it now, because now I literally have no control over it at all. I can't show you, and like, for example, people will show the account. I literally can't, and I haven't been able to for years. Because it's not my account anymore. I don't have ownership of it. I have nothing to show you to prove that, you know, they'd call me DSP, and then the names that change, you know, that last name was down for the Raptors. I can't show you anything. Okay? I mean, you got morons in the chat, really morons in the chat. Show proof of sale. Do you really think right now I'm going to open up a PayPal account and show you anything? I'm going to open up a bank account and show you anything? You're an idiot. No one would believe it anyway. They just say I photoshopped it, or you know what I mean? I lied about this, I lied about that, right? So it's this simple, all right? You can believe my story or you cannot, all right? Here's what I will tell you. I still have the game, all right? But I don't have it on that phone. I have it on my current phone. It's my personal account. That's a brand new account. Not brand new because I've been using it for a while. I've had this phone for a while. But you guys didn't know that because I never told you. This is not an iPhone, all right? I've had this phone for a while. And this is what I do everything on now for the business. And I have some mobile games on here. It's my personal shit. And it's my right to own my own personal shit. And if I want to play games and stuff on it, I fucking can, all right? That's my right. So I've never had, well, I haven't had that account on an iPhone for a while. You know what I'm saying? It sucks. Because every time people call me out and I'm like, well, maybe I could prove, I can't prove it. I don't own it. I have no ownership over it. I have no way to do anything. And just to let you guys know, all right, I have an iPad from ages and ages and ages ago. All right. It didn't work. Last night, I plugged it in and I charged it to 100%. I spent an hour trying to get back on the iPad. I got the iPad working. I said, holy shit. Maybe if I use the old ass information, I'll have a back door into the account. So I can bring it up tonight and show you guys on stream. Here's the account. And it's not mine anymore, but here it is. Guess what? The iPad is so outdated, it doesn't run WWE Champions. You download the latest compatible version, and when you go to play it, the game just crashes endlessly. And it's not just that, it's every game. Like I tried to open WWE Supercard, that crashes too. Like every game fucking crashes. So I couldn't get anything. You know what I'm saying? I have no way to corroborate what I'm saying. But here's the thing. If everything I just admitted, right? If the account was not mine all along, why would I have just admitted what I just admitted to you? I'd have no incentive. I would just keep the story going that it's not my account. Okay? There was no reason for me to admit that. I'm admitting it because it's the truth. It was my account. I did spend on it. The trolls harassed me out of the game. And after years of that, you know, I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to sell it. And I got rid of it. And now I regret it because if I had just closed it, this whole saga would have been over years and years and years and years ago. But I fucked up. Like that act of, oh, I want to get something out of this or whatever, you know? So I'm fessing up to all of you now, all right, that this is the truth of the matter. You don't have to believe me, and I know many of you won't, but that's the truth of the story, you know, that really happened. Now, in regards to all the other shit that's said right there about the bankruptcy and everything, I've had enough of that. I'm just going to put it this way, okay? Because this is what no one wants to actually, like, rationally consider in their fucking heads, all right? So, I file for bankruptcy. I literally do everything I'm told by the bankruptcy attorney, line by line, word for word. All my expenses, all my business, personal, it's all done. It's all correct, okay? We submit it, and what happens is once I submit it and people now know I've now filed for bankruptcy, okay? My trolls mass messaged the judge that you heard in that call. They mass messaged that judge to tell her that I was committing bankruptcy fraud because I played WWE champions. Okay? Mass messaged her. It wasn't just a one or two. All right? She got ridiculous amounts of people contacting her saying, this guy plays WWE champions. He's committing bankruptcy fraud. All right? So, what you have no clue of, I've talked about this on streams before, but I'll now add it because this is the time to do it right now, right, in the React. After that call happened, the 341 call, all right, basically, the judge contacted myself and my attorney and said, listen, we got a big problem, all right? Never before have I been getting this many notices and messages from people saying, hey, this guy is basically a cheat and a scammer, and he's doing this and that, all right? We need to go over everything because we don't know what to believe or what not, and it's our due diligence to go over everything. I had so much difficulty to get that bankruptcy go through, all right? For example, what June just mentioned right there, he said in the bankruptcy documents, there was a thing for pets, and it said that I didn't own any pets, but I did. Everyone knew I owned Jasper. My trolls wrote the judge and said, he owns a cat. Here's all the video evidence of it. So the judge went back to my bankruptcy attorney and said, why don't you have Jasper listed in these documents? Now, I want you to think about this, all right? Letter of the law versus spirit of the law. The letter of the law is every single thing should be done exactly right at every moment. But spirit of the law is, in a bankruptcy, really what's going to happen? Is someone going to go after someone's personal cat as an asset in a bankruptcy? No, not unless it's like an insanely rare cat that's worth $5 million. Jasper Kitty is a normal domestic tabby cat. The court's not going to go after my cat in a bankruptcy proceeding. So it was an oversight that my tax attorney made that she didn't list it originally in the documents. There was an addendum to what you saw there where we had to go back and redo the documents and resubmit them to the judge to actually break out that I owned the domestic cat. We weren't able to go through the bankruptcy until we did that, okay? There were several times we had to do that, where because the detractors looked at that document, because it was public, they kept messaging the judge, this is an error, this is an error, this is an error, this is an error. So we had to redo a whole bunch of shit, okay? Now, we had a meeting that was so fucking long and arduous and tedious, all right? We had to go through every line item. Because did you hear what the judge said in that call? She said, I want all the statements, 6 months of statements of all of your PayPals and all of your bank accounts, right? I want to see it all. And we had to go through all of it. All of it. All right? Line by line. We went through every expense. I explained them all away. I had to explain the nature of my job. I had to explain the nature of my business. I had to explain the nature of what WWE Champions was. I had to explain everything. This is not anything that people usually do in a bankruptcy. This was like the nightmare bankruptcy for me because it was so bad because the trolls interjected themselves so bad into it. All right? At the end of the day, right? When it was all said and done, and it took hours of going through this shit, right? The bankruptcy was granted. The judge says, everything you said looks good, makes sense. It's all correct. Bankruptcy granted. Okay? So if it was good enough for my bankruptcy attorney, if it was good enough for the judge in the case of my bankruptcy, if all the data was right according to them, because we went through all of it, then what is wrong with the data? And it's funny because you could ask me, well, specifically, Phil, what is this line item and what was this expense? I don't know. All right? Literally all year, I track my expenses of all kinds. Some of them are personal, some of them are business. I don't know. I track them all in like a big spreadsheet, and that goes to a tax attorney. And every year, there's questions that shoot back at me, and I answer them all truthfully, and we do them. Okay? They're all done. So it's, you know what I'm saying? They're fine. There's no issue with my taxes. They're done properly. It was scrutinized by both a tax attorney, by both a bankruptcy attorney and a bankruptcy judge. We went line by line through all of it, and they were okay with it. So there's no issue. You understand? There never was an issue. This is something that's completely blown out of proportion by people who just don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right? I'm sorry. And that's, no, I'm not going to open up fucking financial documentation. I'm not going to open up my bank account. I'm not going to open up apps and fucking ledgers. You're not getting that. All right? I want to know why. I'm going to tell you why. There's two reasons why. Because number one, if I were to open up all of that documentation, okay, show you line by line all of that shit, my detractors, who we have seen throughout the course of this documentary are insanely obsessed with me, would use it to destroy me. They would find shit in there ultimately that they could hone in on a company and stuff like that. For example, we didn't get to it yet. We're going to get to bank leaks and all of that shit. Okay, we're going to get to that shit. Where it's already shown that if they're given even a little piece of information, they could do shit with it. Okay? So, FYI, no, it's too much of a personal risk. You understand? It is. It's too much of a personal risk for me to open up information like that to the internet. Now, there's the second reason why I'm not going to fucking show anything. Because it's none of anyone's fucking business. None. There's only certain parties who need to be involved who need to know this kind of stuff, right? Bankruptcy attorney, bankruptcy judge, tax attorney, IRS, who I file with every year. That's who needs the information. That's also who gets the information. And all the information is legal, true, and correct every single fucking time that I've done it. So it's none of anyone's business what it is, how it is broken down. Even I don't know because I don't do it. I pay professionals to do my stuff. That's the point. You pay professionals to do it right, to put the right stamp of approval on it, to make sure it's being done right. And I pay a lot of money to do it. I pay over $2,000 a year to get that shit done. Because I don't want to fuck it up at all. You know what I'm saying? I literally don't want to fuck it all up, right? So it's that simple. It's none of anyone's fucking business at all. People say, oh, well, you're a public figure. That's correct. It's still none of your business. What your business is your interaction with me on a stream every day. Whether it be we're talking, we're hanging out, I'm playing a video game, and you're watching my stream. Whether or not you're having a good time, if you like that, you support it or not. And that's it. That's where that relationship ends. You don't get to know every possible thing about every piece of my life. You understand what I'm saying? That's wild that people would think, well, now, because you had a bankruptcy, now you literally have to open up every document ever from your entire life. Every expense must be fucking accounted for. No, every expense does not have to be accounted for. All right? The people who need that information get it, and it's all correct. Every single fucking time, without fail. All right? So I'm putting it to bed right now. All right? It's that simple. I have been completely untruthful with the internet about this up to now because I was hoping that eventually people would forget about it. It would go away. This is the one thing that the detractors have always had me on because they know I can't show you evidence without putting myself at personal risk. I will not show you evidence because it will put myself at personal risk. You can believe what I just said or not. The truth is, if what I just said was untrue, why would I have admitted to it? Right? What do I have to gain? Nothing. I should have just kept my fucking mouth shut, right? But this is the truth of the matter. Do you understand? See what I'm saying? So that's that. That's really it. There's nothing else to say. Now I'm done. Like, I'm literally done with it. I'm not going to talk about this again. I'm not going to waste time on it in the future because I told you the full story. Now, do I still play WWE Champions? Yes, I do. On my actual personal account, on my current phone, I play WWE Champions. You will never see that account because it is mine. And if I showed it, the detractors would nonstop try to get information about me and my new account on. And I'm not going to fuck around like that at all. You're never going to see that account ever. All right? You will see me once in a while, possibly playing WWE Champions on stream with the new account that I made just to play through my new PC and hang out with everyone on streams to do that. Okay? And that's it. All right? So that's the story. You don't have to believe it. Many people won't. The detractors who are here tonight will never, ever understand or believe the story. Do you see? So that's that. And I'm done with it. I'm not answering any more. If you actually come to me and ask me a question about WWE Champions, I'm going to say, watch part 3 of the DSP Reacts, the June the King documentary on DSP Reacts. That's the answer. That's the truth. I'm done with you. I'm moving on. If you don't accept it, goodbye. Sorry for all the trouble that I caused you. I really am. I really made a big mistake when I decided to keep this going, to keep the lie going. It was a bad move. I should have just either completely fessed up or just deleted the account and got it over with. But instead, because I made this stupid choice to sell it to try to make some money to help myself, it screwed me over. It really did. It completely screwed me over. And I'm sorry that I lied to you for so long about this. Ooh. I really am. Because it really should have been dumb. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't make, it doesn't make sense at all. But what's funny is, to this day, daily, the detractors are tracking this account that apparently has been fine. You know, I couldn't find a place where I could go where my detractors wouldn't dox people. And apparently the account's still active because you see Duty making fucking videos about it. DSP spent $2,448 today. No, I did not. You idiot. You incredible moron. Maybe that person did, right? Maybe that person actually did who bought the account or from this third party. Because remember, like I said, I sold it to this place that they basically reassign accounts to buyers or whatever. I didn't sell it directly to a person, okay? So maybe that person found an account, and I don't know. I literally have nothing to do with it, nor do I care, all right? I'm done talking about it. You want to talk about us playing the game on stream? We can do that. That's fine. You want to talk about general knowledge of the game? Sure, I'll do that. I'm not talking about the past anymore. I'm done with it. So all these idiots, look, because you see how many detractors there are in the chat right now, and they're all just, you know, they're all fucking gray names. Oh, you're lying. I don't care about you. No, I don't care about you. You mean nothing to me. I was never going to win you over anyway. This is for the people who've been sitting around waiting for a very long time for some resolution. And I hope that this is some resolution for some people now so we can move on. And again, if this means that sadly some people can't accept the answer and they're not happy with it, and they want to fucking be angry with me or whatever, they have the right to do that. I'm sorry that I lied for so long about this account. I didn't think it was anyone's business or it should have been a big deal. I don't think it ever should have been made a big deal of. But you can't change the past. What you can do is move forward positively, and that's what I've been trying to do. If anything, this last month's of resurgence here has felt so positive and new. You know what I mean? It felt like a big, people telling me it doesn't matter. Just fucking tell the real story. So I will, right? And again, if there's no reason for me to not verify what I'm saying, I can't show you because I don't own the account. If I had it, I would show it to you right now. It's me. There'd be no point to not showing you it. Because I'm already telling you, yes, I spent a lot of money on the game in the past. Years, those first 3-4 years? I don't even remember, again, the time frame. But basically, I quit because I gave up. I was like, I can't play it anymore. These people are fucking stalking me endlessly. Right? So I'm already telling you, I already have, right? Okay? Are we good? Now, I have shout-outs to do to end the stream for tonight. We will do that. All right? And then tomorrow, all right, we're going to pick up with the finale of this. All right? Which is, I'm on the wrong mouse. It actually is right here. So the vest streak, financial tracking and established trolling, the bank leaks, VTuber destruction, wants a good image, does not get a good image. All right? That's all tomorrow night. All right? Let's do some shout-outs. And then I hope that you will join me tomorrow for an interview that I'm going to have with Craig, who asked me questions like this last year, and I bold-faced lied to him the entire interview. Okay? All right. Shout-outs. Let's do them. On the YouTube side of things, we've got Purple Pickle Yum Yum did so many super chats, I can't count them, and I'm not going to read all those messages, but thank you for that. Jabril did a $10 super chat, thank you. The Random Hero did a super chat, thank you. Sausage McMuffin did a super chat, thank you. The Big Dog did a super chat. We still don't care. Spend money on mobile games however you want. You're not scamming charities, faking cancer, or messaging 13-year-olds, so we don't give a fuck. Here's your crown. Tony Pamfer did a $50 super chat and said, I can understand people being upset about lies. It seems like lying was your only way to be able to play the game. This is the most nothing burger scandal that I've ever heard of. SFM9 did a super chat. Why tell us now and not on side scrollers? Because if I told side scrollers, number one, I didn't trust them. Number two, I didn't have the account to show them. Do you understand? I didn't just sell it yesterday. I didn't even have it last year. So I didn't have anything to prove anything I said, so they wouldn't have believed me anyway. Just like right now, people aren't going to believe me. But if you don't have the corroborating evidence, why even say it, right? Beppo Carrot, thanks for the membership. Purple Pickle with another super chat. Tony Pamfer has gifted 20 memberships to the community. Thank you so much, Tony. And community, enjoy that. And then Purple Pickle did a bunch more. Dude, Purple Pickle, there's no way I'm reading 17, 18 messages that you sent. I have to get out of here for the night. I can't be here any later. Tips. Holy shit. Now, a bunch of these are $1 tips, which likely means they're all going to be troll tips. And if they are, I'm just skipping them. This dollar tip was from Bio, who says he's up to 88 bourbons. I hope he didn't die. Holy shit, Bio. Well, Tasty Nipples tipped $4.20, says, I'm loving your redemption arc, King. Thank you, Tasty Nipples. So this is troll. Go. Someone tipped me $1, says you finally admitted it. You're no longer on Neville 1. Thank you. I got a $2 tip. Let's see. I've been a fan since 2009. I stopped watching. I've come back last month. I have been loving it. I want to tell you a while ago, you might have blocked me on Twitter. All right, well, I can't unblock you right now, but he says stay strong and stay forever the king. Thank you. I can't unblock you on Twitter right now. I received a $5 tip. Say it ain't so. I was happier thinking you were the #1 WWE Champions player in the world instead of knowing that you sold it. You'll always be down from the rafters to me. And yes, I came up with those names. There was another one in the middle there too. And then there was down from the rafters. I came up with both of those names. All right, Bayou got to 97 sips. And he says, to be honest, even if you're not being honest, I don't care. Well, I appreciate that, but I am being honest about all of this. At this, finally. I received a $1.69 tip. And he said, SOF916, he says, I've looked at your filing. It's rough. Flush the duty. I did flush the duty yesterday. I received a $1 tip. If people email you and ask to be unbanned because of drama with WWE champions, will you do it? Likely yes. I received a $42 tip. This guy says, down from the rafters, yo, I want to say thanks for selling me the account, bro, and take care, King. All right. $42 tip from the real down from the rafters. I'm sure it's really them. All right, I guess I should say the current down from the rafters, right? And I got a $50 anonymous tip. And then I received a $2 tip. Never knew you played Dokkan. Been playing the game for 8 years. Smart fella. Yeah, and the bummer about Dokkan is I can't access it anymore. So I stopped playing it for a long time. And then at one point, I was curious if I could go back and maybe check it out again. I can't. The account wasn't tied to anything. And then I had a newer phone. And it's like gone. It's like out into the ether. So I spent time and money playing Dokkan Battle for like a year or so. And then it got erased. I lost that account completely. And I didn't sell it. I just lost the account. It didn't migrate to the new phone. I was like, oh, fuck, that sucks. Let's see. Crunchiest Onion did a super chat. He says, you never answered the burning question. How many Hogans did you own? How many Hogans did you own on your new account? On the original account, I pulled the original Hogan, which was Powerhouse Hogan. I had him, and he was one of the rarest cards when I got him. That was when I was still with the very first faction, and I was a faction leader and all of that. I don't think I pulled any more Hogans on that account because I think the other ones was after all the crap went down. I think it was just that. And then I played, like I said, I tried doing it in the factions. You know, now the Hogans are actually quite easy to pull. Many of them are actually very easy to pull. They're not rare anymore. In fact, they give away some of them pretty easily. So the whole Hogan thing actually is a dumb meme. It's not representative of their being difficult to pull or anything. And Adam just did a super chat. Feels good as a detractor to be right about mobile game addiction. Sweep loser. You sent me a super chat. You paid me to say that. Like, maybe I should just leave him unbanned, but I'm just going to ban him on principle. Because I was thinking maybe he would actually send me another super chat, but he's really dumb. Right? So I'm just going to ban him. Anyway. All right. So, folks, it's been a hell of a night. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I told you that crazy shit was going to happen, and it happened. Did it not? Finally. Thank you for the insane support, obviously. I hope that you enjoyed. And tomorrow we finish this sucker. I'm not going to do any clips tonight because I'm already going late. I'm just going to let it be an archive stream and then get ready for tomorrow. But yeah, so that's it for this one. I'll see you all tomorrow for the next one. And remember, tomorrow I am interviewing Stuttering Craig from the Side Scrollers. All right, on my first stream on my Level 1 podcast. I hope you'll join me for that as well in the morning. That should start around 11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay? All right, I'm out of here. I hope to see you all tomorrow for another crazy day as we finish this up. Thank you all, and I'll see you then.